It's Trekker time. Welcome. Woohoo, indeed. Welcome, my friends. Hello, hello, hello. Here we are for some Saturday Night Star Trek on Clobbering Times. Issue number 152 on YouTube, 852 overall. Great to see you all tonight. I hope you are all having a wonderful weekend and a wonderful Saturday night or whatever it is on whatever part of the world you are. I hope you're having a wonderful one. My goodness. And I'm here, of course, as always, with the most wonderful first officer in the fleet, the beautiful, the magnificent, the brilliant RAQUEL Briggs, RM, Commander RM Briggs.
Oh, thank you so much, Captain, for that warm welcome. And can I just say, the chat is already bumping with the best people on the whole internet. And some other streamers, they say that. But here, we mean it because of this crew. You guys are just amazing. I love each and every one of you. I'm so happy to see you guys. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
We have such a great chat. Again, you guys, as I've said to you often, I have so much fun talking to Raquel when it's just the two of us. It's just so fantastic talking Trek or whatever we're talking about. But you guys certainly add to that when we get a chance to talk Trek with each other and then with you. It's just the best. I look forward to it every week. I love doing all my shows, but this is the one I look forward to the most. It's because of you guys. It's because of you guys.
It is.
We really appreciate you. Absolutely. Let's see here. We'll say some hellos. Let's see here. The great Phantom Outsider. What's up, buddy? Always a pleasure, my friend. Always a pleasure. The Felicianos, as in Raymond and Sandra.
Just the best. The most romantic wrench couple on the internet. Smart, fun, amazing couple. Welcome.
So great to see you both here. The extraordinary great pal of Mr. Eric K. What's up, buddy?
Eric K, I love you. I love you so much. Thank you for all the work you do for us behind the scenes. And you're just such a great person. I love sharing your company. It's so good to see you here.
Good to see you, buddy. We appreciate you, man. The great Steve Mitchum. What's up, brother?
Woohoo! How's Maddie?
Hey,
nice
buddy.
Nice to see you, Steve.
Good to see you, bud. Good to see you, man, always. Doug 35, thank you for being here.
Hey, Doug 35.
Snorta Poopus Q Burr.
Snorta Poopus!
I love when she says that. Now, I don't think he's any relation to Raymond Burr, ever. I'm going out on a limb. Maybe he is.
Burr lives.
He could be, but you have to add an L and take off an R, I believe. Burr lives, then it would work.
Sort of brrr happening there.
And then he could still sing silver and gold, silver and gold. Dark Shadow Logan, what's up?
So nice to see you.
Hello. Good to see you there, sir. Kalel 48.
Hey,
good to see you. Thank you for being here. T-Bud Martin, what's up, bud?
T-Bud Martin.
Ilaga Bulas.
So good to see you.
Don't ever say it exactly right, but we love you, Ilaga Bulas. Thank you. Great pal and great friend of the show and fellow Lousianian here. Pat S. What's up, my brother?
Hey, Pat.
Had to call him Scuba Pete.
Scuba Pete!
JT Kirk, my good friend. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. The great master of all that is Canadian and Rinchy, Chris Persia. What's up, brother? Good to see you, buddy.
Yes. For lucky.
Indeed. What she said. Phoenix Argus. Great to see you, my friend. Thank you for being here.
Yes, Phoenix Argus is here, and he brought his gin. I believe he's had some gin and tonic.
Indeed. Septic Stream. Thank you for joining us tonight. Good to see you. That's all the ones I have. If I haven't missed anyone, but if not, I'm going to get everyone when they come in. As people trickle in, if they do so, we will always try to shout them out. And quick show note before we get started on our episodes for the evening. Monday night, Mark C Comics Talk. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do a little show that I want to do for a long time. No one will really care about it, but I like doing anyway. Mags about comics. I talk about comics journalism. When there was a comic book industry.
What?
a thriving one. I loved all these different magazines, and I have most of the. I have all these actually, even though I loved reading about. I love reading. Right now, my favorite thing is to read about comics history since comics are garbage. So this is going to be about the journalism when there actually were magazines about the current events of the day, if you call it, or as you call it, in comic books.
Okay, well, I'm definitely going to be at this one. There are definitely going to be hundreds of people that are going to watch this video. This is going to be amazing. So you're going to totally nerd out on geek culture, and you're going to talk about publishing. You're going to talk about these journals and the journalism, the reportage on geekdom, all the juicy inside stuff, the way these magazines are constructed. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I had no idea you were going to do this. I'm going to be glued to the chat that night.
Oh, well, you're too kind. By the way, Mark D with the C. What's up, brother?
Hey, Mark D with the C.
Great friend of the show. I love, this was one of the things I still have all these, and I loved, when there was a comic book industry, the darn poor real life form. Thank you for being good to see you.
Rod Thunderheart snuck in as well.
Oh, Rod
Thunderheart.
See, when there actually was a thriving and healthy comic book industry, I loved getting the new issue of Comics Journal, Amazing Heroes, Comics Interview, Comics Feature, all these mags. And again, it was really special to me, just as much as getting the new comics and stuff and seeing what's going on. And and now there's nothing like that anymore because there's no industry. There are the Tomorrow mags. I'm gonna talk about the current ones out there that are good too. But again, I don't know if anyone's even interested in this topic, but I've been wanting to do it for a while.
I totally am.
So.
And I hope that a whole bunch of comic book people find out about this, because to cover an industry journal like this is to really dig into the social science, the entire machinery that goes on in order to create the comic book industry, and the movers and shakers, how things are made. This is going to be a phenomenal show. I am so stoked on it. So I can't wait. Everyone is going to be interested in this. I hope everybody who is currently writing or drawing for comics shows up for this, because this is going to be sensational, especially with your gigantic brain.
I wouldn't know about that, but when it comes, she's too kind, isn't she? She's my mom. Let's face it. My mom told her to say that. But no, well, thank you so much. Again, it's a topic I love. I wanted to do this for a long time. They're not really fanzines because they were professional mags about comics. But everyone who sees this, it's got to bring back wonderful nostalgic memories. Look at these covers. I love this. I just loved all these mags. I still have all of these. And I look forward to them every month to get these, So I'm sure a lot of my friends who know comics, cared about that kind of stuff as well. So
beautiful.
And anyway, so that'll be Monday night again. So mags about comics, because I had no imaginative name to call it. So we'll just make it easy, because that's what they were.
Yeah, so that if you're unfamiliar with this at home, I want you to know that there is an entire section of periodicals called professional trade and industry journals, and they delve into the behind the scenes stories of the artists, the authors, editors, and it just covers the entire industry. It's looking at the underbelly of it and exposing all of the secrets. So that's what these industry journals are, and it's going to be really exciting to take a peek inside of them and hear about them through Clobby's expertise. So make sure that you get your bums in your chairs with your popcorn or other various snacks, because Monday night we're going to be bumping.
Well, I hope I can do it justice, especially after that. Now I'm really up against it. I hope I'm the man for the job, but I'm going to give it a shot, everyone, because I do love these things. So thank you so much. Number one, you were too kind. By the way, before we now get on our mission, my wonderful first officer is also a writer. And there is a link in the chat there to her literary works of science fiction genius. Right there. I did put it right. Is that the right one? Oh, there we go.
Yes.
So yeah. Sometimes I thought I had the wrong link there, so for a second there.
That's absolutely wonderful.
There we
Thank
go.
you so much. Yeah, I write
Yes,
science
indeed.
fiction, folks, and it's short story science fiction done in the tradition of like Sir Arthur Conan Doyle or Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah, I absolutely love short story, and I hope that you will check my stories out. They're really cheap. 99 they're 99 cents in Canada, and I think 74 cents in the United States, and you can get them through Amazon or your Kindle device.
Indeedishness, and there is the link right there, folks. And let's see here. Now, I suppose if anyone else pops in, we'll definitely take note. I promise. As always, what do you think? Are you ready to kick it off?
Well, I have one. Phoenix Argus, I love you. Thank you so much. What a wonderful and kind thing to say. Love you, Phoenix. Thank you.
Well, yes.
Yeah, I do have one thing that I do want to mention.
Sure. Go for it.
Because I keep forgetting about it, and I just want to make sure that I don't forget about it.
Sure.
I would like to give a gift to someone through a draw in our community as we move through each unique iteration of Star Trek. So because I live in Canada, things are going to take a while to get to folks, especially because it's so expensive to ship. So I was wondering if you would all please do me a favor. If you would like your name put into the draw, would you please send your name to Clobby, or could you please add it to the comments in this stream when we're done? Because when we get to the end of this particular version, so the TOS, even though TAS, you know what I'm saying, we're dealing with the original gangster cast. I would like to put all of those names in a hat, and then I'm going to have my husband draw the name from the hat, and maybe we'll do it on air. I'm not sure. We'll see. Maybe we'll even do it on camera. And then I would love to send out a secret gift to whomever's name I pull from the hat. And I would like to do this through each major iteration that we go through of the Star Trek. Now, this has absolutely nothing to do with StreamYards or YouTube. This is not being done for profit. You don't have to be here. You don't have to, there's no weird thing going on here where I'm trying to curry favor or trying to, stockpile viewers or anything like that. It has nothing to do with that. It literally is just, I've enjoyed you guys' company so much that it gives me an opportunity to send out just a little thank you and to build a little excitement in our community. So once again, if you would like your name put into that draw, please leave a comment on this video after it's posted and finished and posted to YouTube. Or could you please send a note to Clobby on Twitter? I'll make a list. We'll tear up your names off of a piece of paper. It'll get thrown in a hat, and I'll get something really, really super cool sent out to you as a gift.
Well, that's very nice. And they can, my contact information is below, or you could, like I say, like she said, you could just leave a comment. Either way's fine. But my contact information is always below anyway. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could just leave the comment there. We'll see. We'll see it. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, here we go. Let's see here. Are we ready to begin? You could do our usual intros for the book if you're ready now.
Yeah, sure.
All right. We have 5 episodes tonight. Oh, okay, cool. Sorry. We have 5 episodes tonight, everyone. No problem. Let's see here. Okay. Where is it? Oh, Dad Man Walking. Yes, of course.
Yeah. Sorry, I got really excited that Dad Man Walking.
Always good to see you.
I hope your wife is here as well. It's just yes, sorry about that.
Indeed. No. Also, greetings to Mrs. Dadman, wherever she may be.
Oh, Air cases. Clobby, do you take bribes?
Yes.
No.
I mean, no. I meant to say no. No, not at all. No. I'm easily bribable, dude.
Okay, so just if you're just joining us and you've never joined us before, and you're wondering what the format is, we use a text that has verified information in it, and we use that as a launching off point. So it gives us a summary of what happened in each episode, and then we hash it out with Clobby and I, more than 40 years of loving Star Trek together, as well as 1,000 years of experience, collective experience in our chat, and then and we talk about those episodes, and we also talk about the content of the book. If it's a good book, if they like the information, if it had information they hadn't heard before, and so on and so forth. So the book is called Star Trek: The Official Guide to the Animated Series, by Harvey and Skepis, and some folks in the chat have already purchased this. If you're interested in this book, you can get it on Amazon, you can get it at your local bookstore, you can get it anywhere.
Indeed, and it's a very cool book. I've only got to read a little bit of it so far. It's very nice, and it's really, if you're a fan of this show, a nice book to pick up. Relatively recent too, just past couple of years. So.
Yeah, and even if you're not a huge fan of the animated series, you should know, if this is the first time you've tuned in with us, you should know that this book is constructed around the entire idea that Skepis and is it Harvey? I think it's Harvey. Yeah, Harvey and Skepis assembled information, drawings, different things from the show, private production notes, images from letters sent back and forth. So although we only covered the summary here, you should know that this book is very rich in learning about the animation, the stuff that went on behind the scenes, and a lot of visual heavy stuff.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. Steve Ernst. Stephen Ernst. I met Stephen. We got some Steves, a couple Steves so far.
These are the Steves I know. These are the Steves I know.
That's why I did that, of course, folks,
By the way, the singing's supposed to be bad for that. Kids in the hall.
It's lovely. It was wonderful. And they love it. There you go. Right there. You say that, and another Steve shows up. Canadian Spidey, what's up, boy? Good to see you, brother.
Steves, Canadian Spider-Man says.
Hail to the Steves. They're the best of all the Steves. Indeedishness, my friends. All right. So I suppose we be's ready to leave orbit. Don't you think so? Number one.
Yeah, I interrupted you because I was so excited that Dadman walked in the room.
Oh, good. Yeah.
But you were saying, yeah, we're going to be doing 5 episodes tonight, and that will wrap up season 1. We're going to go through them really quickly. If you're following along in the text, we're on page 90, and we are currently on season 1, episode 12.
Indeed, that would be, of course, everyone. Wait for it. The time trap.
Dun 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 dun.
The time trap. There we go. The time trap it is, folks. Go for it.
Yeah. So I read extemporaneously because I don't have time to practice. So,
Y'all hear that? She extemperates, whatever that means.
So, bear with me. Let's do it. And some of the grammar in this book is dubious, to say the least. And if you buy the book, you'll see what I mean. Anyways, let's do it. Klingons!
Grammar police time. We're good. Go for it.
The Enterprise is immediately fired upon as it enters the 23rd century equivalent of the Bermuda Triangle. When the Enterprise returns the volley, the Klingon vessel Klothos absorbs the impact but disappears. Kirk is accused of destroying it by the 2 remaining Klingon ships. He orders the Enterprise to the coordinates of the Klothos last position, where it also disappears. The Enterprise has entered a pocket of time and encounters a starship graveyard, which contains the ships reported as missing. The Klothos reappears and promptly fires on the Enterprise again, causing Kirk to respond in kind. However, neither attack reaches its intended target. Kirk and Kor are transported off their ships to face judgment by the descendants of the stranded species in the region named Elysia, where violence is not permitted. The captains are warned of the consequences of continued hostility by Xerius, leader of Elysia, and informed there is no escape from this region's trap. Kirk returns to the Enterprise and learns an escape attempt has to occur soon as the ship's dilithium crystals are deteriorating. Kor's attempt to bluff his ship's way through the time vortex gives Spock the idea to combine both the ship's powers to escape. The Klingons agree. McCoy notes Spock's chummy behavior towards the Klingons, which Kirk addresses, learning that his first officer was using his Vulcan mind touch to sense the Klingons' plan to sabotage the ship. The Enterprise hosts a celebration with the Klingons and Elysians, where an argument occurs between a Klingon and McCoy, a ruse by the Klingons to create a distraction so their saboteur can plant an explosive device in the warp control. The Elysians decide to punish the Klingons for inciting violence by freezing their vessel for 1 century. Kirk pleads on behalf of the Klingons as their punishment would also punish his crew. Xerius relents and releases them to Kirk's custody. Megan senses the Klingon double cross and Xerius alerts the Enterprise. Spock and Scotty remove the device and jettison it outside the ship, where it detonates harmlessly as the Enterprise and the Klothos return to their normal time and space. And that is the summary. What'd you think?
The time trap. You know, I kind of like this episode a little bit. I mean, it's again, as I always say, especially when we're talking about the animated series, you always have to make special, make some exceptions for considering the things they were working with and the the time slot and all that kind of stuff. But it had some interest. I think what I like most about it was some of the stuff when they get into the Sargasso Sea, the ships and that I forgot the name of Elysia. What was the name of the planet?
Elysia or Elysium. It's from Greek and it's the Elysium fields. So yeah, if you get it in and around the Greek, not only are you golden, you're more accurate than the show.
Gotcha. I'll be using this term a lot, as I probably already have. It's very, there are going to be episodes of this show that are very Star Trek. Then there are going to be episodes that are very more Saturday morning-ish. Mm-hmm. That varies from episode to episode sometimes. Agreed. This one's very Trek-ish in the sense that you get to see. It was kind of nice to see those other alien races all there. And again, they were there. They learned to live in peace. Yes, they were suspended in time they were there for forever. In other words, they don't really pass time the same we do. But this one had Trek ideas and stuff like that. They had to end up working with the Klingons. You do have to understand these Klingons are based upon original series Klingons, which are dirty, rotten rats. They're not the ones that they kind of, for lack of a better term, retconned or turned them into more beings, warriors of honor and stuff. So these Klingons are backstabbing little, they're not
horrid
the same
villains.
They're just villains. Yeah. That's just what they are, and it's fine. But I mean, and it was cooler, even though I don't know why they wear purple now. But some of the goofy elements of the episode that kind of made me laugh a little bit, not in a bad way, because I still think it's a fairly interesting story. It was Spock, but Spock's acting funny. I'm like, that's a little. And now they've just completely decided Spock has almost superpowers with his telepathy, even though he would downplay it in another episode, I believe. Yep. But as far as he could tap you on the shoulder and pick up your thoughts and all that other kind of stuff. When there's another episode in this batch, and I don't know if it was this one or another, where he just, when he downplays it, basically talks about his telepathic abilities are, fairly limited, and it can only do it with some species or different things like that.
Yeah.
Which again, that's fine, inconsistencies or whatever. But on balance, I find this to be a fairly entertaining episode. Mm-hmm. Nothing like really, really great way out there or anything, but it's also not like some of the episodes we've seen that are just really, really cringe-inducing. So I think it's a fairly entertaining episode for me.
Yeah, for sure. So there are some notes on here that they classify in the book as fascinating and whoops. So fascinating is verified trivia. So, sometimes there are multiple layers of lore, and a lot of times the lore is factoid. It's not fact. So each chapter that covers each of the episodes has a fascinating and a whoops. And so we're on page 94, and I'm going to read the fascinating, then the whoops, and then I'll get to my personal notes.
Okay.
So fascinating on page 94. Star Trek Voyager, The Void, revisited the idea of a starship entering an escapable region. Star Trek would once again recycle designs. Some of the Federation's ships trapped in the Delta Triangle were used unused sketches done for previous episodes. And whoops is William Shatner made a recording faux pas as the actor left off the final 2 stardate numbers of his initial captain's log.
Oops.
The stardate should have been listed as 5264.2, not 52.2. So there's a little trivia for you folks. And
There
here
you
are
go.
my personal notes. Nichelle Nichols voices 4 characters in this episode. Some viewers find this distracting. Of course, that's Devna, the Megan, the Callie, and the Uhura character. And some people complain about that. I don't really think it's really fair, but it does highlight the fact that Duhan does 5 voices for this episode and does it with expert results. So you remember when I was telling you all about how one of the reasons why Duhan was hired for Star Trek was because he could do so many voices. Well, who would have thought, who would have thunk it that so many years later that those voices would come, or his ability to change his voice and do all those voices would come in so handy because he's so good at it. Star Trek Voyager, The Void, 2001, recycles this idea. I think that was covered in the book. The vessels in the graveyard are all the designs submitted and declined by Gene Roddenberry for the marvelous insectoid ship from Beyond the Farthest Star. So I had spoken about that previously, about how so many of those designs were submitted and turned down because he wanted something really far out and groovy. And so now we're seeing that to save a little bit of money. Klingon footage recycled from More Troubles, which is, of course, season 1, episode 5.
Yeah.
My absolute favorite quote from this episode is, just listen to it. Like, it's just, I love science fiction. Listen to this wonderful quote from Devna. A pocket in the garment of time.
Nice.
Just so beautiful. And I also put a little note on here. I prefer Orions with black pupils and green sclera. I've always loved the idea of the Orions having that pure black pupil and then the green sclera. I think that that's maybe something that they should have held on to. In 1988, of course, Gene said that TAS was not canon. We should almost think of it more like an expression of canon where he got to play with some ideas, but he didn't want to be held to it. So it's just kind of like he went off a little bit on it. But that is one thing that I think should have become canon. I would have loved to have seen the black pupils with the green sclera, and I think it would have been absolutely sensational, especially when we see the Orions again in Enterprise. And that's all I have from my notes, boss.
Well, yeah, there are other instances in some of the other episodes that we're talking about that bring that to mind about things not necessarily being canon because I just went ahead and contradicted them later. So yeah, this episode again, it's a decent episode. I think this is one of the things we've been saying about some of these stories is it probably needed to be a longer. In other words, if they had tackled this one on the regular, normal series, the live action series, because it needed that kind of time to breathe better as a story, I think.
Yep.
But overall, it's an interesting concept, especially the part about Alicia. I think actually that's probably the most interesting aspect to the story, and we don't get enough of that really.
Agreed.
There's very little time to do it. It was kind of the one thing that was kind of goofy in a fun way was McCoy asking the Klingon woman to dance with him, having that dust up with the Klingon guy. That was funny, but yeah. But anytime any of these episodes, they always, even in a flawed one, they always impress me when they have very, very adult, very, very Star Trek ideas on a Saturday morning in 1973. That's I'm going to be that broken record all the time. There are episodes that don't have a lot of that.
Yep.
This one does. And I think it's a pretty enjoyable, pretty decent episode for sure.
I totally agree, and I just absolutely love this idea of this council and this alternate reality. And I would have loved to have seen this in live action.
Yes.
I'm a huge fan of the Mirror Universe. I'm a huge fan of playing with this idea of an alternate universe, and this whole idea of a pocket in the garment of time. I absolutely love it. Totally reminds me of the Albuquerque door in, let me just turn around and see. Oh yeah. In The Fold. I read The Fold, 5 years ago. And, I love that idea of a pocket in the garment of time. And I love this idea of a council. And yeah, I really like this episode.
Yes, absolutely. It is good. Well, everyone, now what I'm going to do, as we always do here on Saturday Night Star Trek, I'm going to ask my wonderful first officer for her rating of the time trap. I'll give mine after that, and then I will ask you all good folks in the chat to give yours. So, number one, what is your rating for the time trap?
Boss, it's not perfect, and I love singing your praises for your evaluations of these shows and these episodes. And I just absolutely love the way that you articulated the fact that this would have been great for live action. It just needed more time to be fleshed out. And due to that, it's not perfect, but it is so intriguing and so enjoyable. And especially in socio-historical context, as well as in the medium in which it's been created. And for that reason, boss, I'm giving it a B+.
Well, we have the same exact rating. I'm going with a B+ because it's great to see all those alien races together and in peace, and getting to see a Gorn, that kind of stuff. A lot of that is a lot of fun stuff. I like the idea of the Sargasso in space with the ships and all that stuff. So there's a lot of Trek meat here. There's a lot of Trek lore and a lot of Trek stuff in it and ideas. And so you can always. And look, in this show, you can see episodes in the animated series that really try to really be full on Trek, whether they always succeed or not. And you can see other ones where they just said, let's just do some silly Saturday morning nonsense, which is fine. Some episodes are that, in my opinion. But this is one that is a Trek for sure. So, yeah, I think a big B+ for me. So now, good friends in the chat. And by the way, welcome Apollome's Minion and Mike Beach. Hello there. Hello.
And don't forget the pupper.
Pupper. What is your rating, my friends, of the time trap? Go.
Yeah. And don't be afraid to put a bracket after that, a rating A, B, C, D, or 7 out of 10 or whatever. And then don't be afraid to share your comments. If you're new here, you should know that we care about what you think, and this is a dialogue with you. It's not just Clubby and I talking to you. So we love reading your comments, and we love hearing we love to hear what you think.
Indeed. And I try to start out at the beginning. If I miss one, sometimes it happens, but I hope I'm starting at the right spot here. The great Raymond Feliciano, what's up at A? Indeed, Raymond. I love the return of Kor.
Yeah.
Kor forgot to mention to Dax later that how Kirk handed him his ass a couple times. Kor was a big snake in his youth, wasn't he?
Yep.
The Council of Aliens is intriguing. I agree. This will be a great show to give it an hour. Absolutely.
For those of you who are at home, Raymond is an author, so he's what he's articulating is wanting more, and that's more meaningful when it's coming from an author.
Indeed. B- for D. Bud Martin, the old have to work with our enemy for a common goal trope. Yep, I think that this worked well. Although the ending is so abrupt.
Yeah.
Like I said, needing a little more time to breathe. I hear you.
Yep, you got it.
A minus for Dark
Yes.
Shadow Logan. Interesting take on a utopia-like society that is controlled by a rigid set of rules with dire consequences. Shows the differences between the Federation and the Council society, and to what,
Needed to be longer.
Needed to be
He's
longer.
just
Okay.
shortening it
Oh,
up
I
because
gotcha.
he ran out of characters. Dark
Yes.
Shadow Logan, excellent
Thank you.
comment, sir.
Indeed, absolutely. It needed to be longer for sure. B for Eric K. All these other races living in harmony was nice, but if it drains energy, how were they producing food? I would have preferred a full hour. Love these stories, but some just seem rushed.
Agreed.
Yes, that's a common problem with these episodes, but it's what they had to work with,
Yep.
B plus for Scuba Pete.
Scuba Pete!
Or 3.8 out of 5 pieces of lint in the pocket of the garment of time. Nice. Hand wash only, hand dry.
Scuba Pete, I love you. Scuba Pete. So funny.
Snorta Poopos. Let's see here. 1 of 2. B plus. This is the first mention of a Klingon cloaking device. No, it isn't. Not the first. Well, yeah, I guess a Klingon cloaking device it is, since they kind of that's actually a good point. Yeah, that's thank you so much, Snort, for bringing this up. The Bonaventure being the first warp drive ship, interesting looking ship, by the way, of course, was later scrapped, which is kind of what Raquel was just talking about earlier about them kind of just. But then again, there are things in the original series, which is canon, that they've scrapped and just contradicted as well. Yep. So, what are you going to do? But yes, that's a good point. The Bonaventure bring the first ship. The Bonaventure bring the first ship to have warp drive contradicts their later history of the Phoenix from First Contact, and true. Well, maybe I guess maybe they made the first starship, but also in XO1. So no, good point. No, Snort.
Yep.
That's for sure. The Klingon battlecruiser Klothos is later mentioned in the DS9 episode Once More Unto the Bridge. Is it now? Nice. The computer bank seems to have old-fashioned tape drives. I was not, or maybe I'd forgotten it or didn't know it at all. Maybe that's great. Wow. So maybe it is.
It is our Snortopoopas. It is
Snort.
He has a nose for that kind of thing. So we should check it out.
Nice.
Snortopoopus. His nose is a trustworthy nose. He's a good bear.
You're a good bear. A gold star in tonight's class for Snort.
Woo!
There you go. I appreciate that, though. I did. Oh, wait, I got to do it right. I did not know that. Ed, did you know that? Doc.
No,
I
did not.
I did. Ed. Oh, you are correct. Well, no, seriously, I appreciate that, man.
Yep, for sure.
Doug 35. A. They even copied this for a Voyager episode. Yeah.
Yes, they did. Yep.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Copied a cartoon. Imagine that. Love it. B for Canadian Spider-Man who does whatever a Canadian Spidey can. Like you said, the Council of Aliens and the overall sense of Trek is strong. However, the character of Spock was just off, and the red-haired woman's voice was really, really annoying. Wow. There you go. Let's see here. Phantom Outsider. B for the concept. But who died and made those guys Council of Time? Oh, right. R.I.P. R.I.P. Doctor Who. Indeed, brother. I miss my Doctor Who. I love you, Doctor Who. Real Doctor Who. J.G. Kirk. 9.5 Council aliens out of 12. Always good to get a story about Kur. Dahar Master, yes, indeed, the Dahar Master is. Yep. Yes, in his younger days, he was such a little rat, wasn't he? The voice of that one alien was just so irritating. I can't score this episode any higher. Which alien would that be, buddy? Let's see here. Sandra Feliciano says A minus. Loved the return of Core. It would have been fun to explore more of the relationship between Kirk and Yes, absolutely. I think we all agree it kind of needed a little bit more time.
Yeah.
For that one.
Hey, Project Storytime just walked through the door, boss.
Hey.
Write that down on the little list of people
Project
who we love.
Storytime. Good to see you. Always a pleasure to have you pop in, my friend. I hope you are doing well, sir. All righty. Let's see here. See if we got any more. Oh, yes, we do. We have the great Monica D with a C with an S pick. By the way, shout out to S. You could not make it tonight, but he let me know, and he sends you his love, of course.
I love him.
Ash, you're gonna come back one day, I hope. But he'll come back when we do the movies, maybe. I don't know. Because someone did ask earlier before we started, by the way, if we're gonna do Star Trek: The Motion Picture soon. Oh, it's coming. We'll get there.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be covering that, and we're going to be talking about the in-between stuff too.
Oh yeah. I mean, look, we're gonna cover it all.
Yeah,
we got you covered. A for Mountain Dew with a C, 5 out of 5 Brigadoons. Another great sci-fi concept for an animated kids show. The counterpoint to Day of the Dove. Yeah, good point. Still works despite the short run time. Indeed. A peaceful existence, but as Kirk says, Elysia is in many respects a perfect society, but with all its virtues, it is not home, and home, with all its faults, is where we prefer to be. Yes, good stuff.
Mark, I love you so much, Mark.
Stern Star Trek stuff. Phoenix Argus says F for TV1, an Australian cable channel, which aired Star Trek and anime series, and thus I missed out on these episodes, so I am at a disadvantage. Oh, dang. However, the concept used in this episode would also be used in the Star Trek PC and PS first-person shooter game, Star Trek Voyager Elite Force. Okay.
Okay. Well,
Excellent.
Phoenix, usually like when we first started this whole show, I used to read like literally like an auctioneer because I never thought that people would like dig me reading to them. So I used to like hurry through it like a maniac, make all sorts of mistakes, just burn through it. And then I learned that you all like it when I read to you. So I just slowed down and started to enjoy it. I will actually make sure that I read even a little bit slower here for this one so that you can hear that summary. And very interesting, your perspective, because now you've played it as a game and these ideas have been fleshed out in a game. And now you're hearing us talk about the summary and how it came to pass in an episode. So very, very cool. So sorry that you can't see this where you're at. I'm Canadian. I feel you, bro.
There you go. See, Werner said no rating, as I haven't seen these since they originally aired, and a few many years later. But I'll give a B+ to the anime series overall. Nice. Fair enough. And what Steve Mitchum said, something about, well, I don't know who Fink is. I never watched that show much there, Steve, but I hear you. I guess that's who he is. Let's see here. I think we got all of our ratings. Number one.
Okay.
I do believe.
So should we dig into the next one?
The council. Sure. Let's see. Councilwoman with red hair, cat eyes, and screeching Twitter. This was the one that got me.
I missed that one.
That was JT Kirk saying the was it the councilwoman with the red hair? Okay, that's when he was talking about that was annoying. Cat eyes and screeching Twitter SJW voice was the one that got me. I hear you.
Yeah, like a lot of people don't like the voices that were done by Nichelle Nichols in this episode, which is hysterical because like she's a sex icon and the guys love her, but just some of the voices that she tried just didn't work. And it's funny, JT Kirk, that is a very popular opinion, sir.
Yeah, it happens, man. Oh, well,
the missus said she is sorry to have to turn in for the night. Wasn't able to watch this one. Dad Man Walking, please send your lovely wife our best regards, our warmest regards, and we'll see her next Saturday. We enjoy her company thoroughly. And don't worry about not watching the episodes because I got you covered with those summaries. That's why I vet these types of books so that, it can jog your memory, or we could tell you what the story is if you don't remember it or just remember parts of it. So don't worry.
Oh, yeah, you're good. Yeah. We appreciate that, Dad, man. Thank you so much. And hail to your, say hail and hello to your wonderful mistress. So.
Yep.
So gotcha. Mrs. What did I say, mistress? No.
Yeah. Well, maybe, depending.
Either way, man.
Maybe sometimes on a romantic evening after a bottle of champagne. You never know.
Indeedishness. Well, are we ready for our next episode? Well, I put it up there a bit prematurely there, but there we go.
Yeah, so we're on page 96, and we're season 1, episode 13. And as you can see that lovely graphic on the screen if you're joining us in the live chat. If not, I'll just tell you that the episode is the ambergris element. Now, in the United States, they pronounce it ambergris. But in Canada, of course, French is one of our official languages, and gray is gris here. It's not gris. That's gray. So it basically ambergris is gray amber, just so you know at home. So because I'm Canadian, I walk a very strange world where I hear lots of American stuff and lots of French stuff. So I may go back and forth between ambergris and ambergris, depending upon what's said in this thing I've never read before. So this will be an adventure, folks.
That's better than how I would have pronounced it, so go for it.
Page 96, if you're joining us in the Harvey Skepis. Welcome to Argo. The Enterprise's Aqua Shuttle receives a rude greeting when a Sur Snake tosses it around. A phaser volley stuns the beast, and Kirk has them submerged to get a closer look at the wee beastie. Bad idea. The creature awakens and resumes its favorite pastime of shuttle tossing. The Enterprise's emergency beam-out attempt is hampered by the Sur Snake when it throws the shuttle towards an outcropping of rocks. McCoy and a red shirt are propelled from the shuttle and retrieved by the Enterprise, but Kirk and Spock are knocked unconscious. The Sur Snake hauls the shuttle back underwater with the pair still on board. Rescue teams take 5 days to locate Kirk and Spock, who can no longer breathe air. McCoy discovers the captain and first officer have been injected with something that caused the transformation and is unable to reverse the process. Kirk and Spock have 2 options: live on the Enterprise in a water tank or on Argo for the remainder of their lives, neither of which appeals to them. They return to Argo and come across natives who are not particularly happy to see them. The Aquans reveal it was their young who had assisted the duo and depart. Kirk and Spock pursue them only to be captured as spies. The pair is returned to the surface and left to die, but one of the younger Aquans rescues them. Learning that ancient texts hold the key to a cure, Kirk pleads for their help. In the ruins, they find medical vials and are on their way out when they are attacked by another Sur Snake. Planetary quakes and resulting debris occur just in time to prevent the monster from reaching them. McCoy discovers the venom of the Sur Snake is the only antitoxin, so Kirk and Spock return to the planet to get some. With more assistance from the young Aquans, a Sur Snake is trapped and they procure some venom. Kirk worries that they did not retrieve enough venom. However, those fears are alleviated when he returns to his awesome air-breathing self after he briefly grows fins and scales. The Enterprise targets the epicenter of the quakes to prevent damage to the underwater city, which causes one of the submerged ruins to return to the surface. The young Aquans decide to make a go of it on land, while the elders vow to never lose touch with them. And there are no fewer than 6 typos on that page.
Wow.
Whomever edited this book, tisk tisk. I should also mention, especially because there are some people in the chat who also have this book. Wow, this episode's coverage and the never before released, never before seen drawings by the artist, just so good. This is just such great coverage on this particular episode. So what'd you think of it?
Well, I gotta tell you, remember a little while ago when I was talking about how some of these probably most, to be fair, some of these episodes of this show are very Trek more than they are Saturday morning.
Yes.
This is very Saturday morning, this one here.
It
This is very early 70s Saturday morning. I don't hate it or anything, don't get me wrong, folks. But it's pretty silly. It's like they're, Aqua Kirk and Aqua Spock. By the way, as a kid, I mean, you got to love it. As a kid, if you're watching this, wow, Kirk and Spock are Aquaman. Like, that's cool. They get turned into Aquaman. They never really explain much about that. Janet from another planet.
Hey, Janet. We'll take your name down, so just give us a second.
Great to see you there. Thank you for popping in.
Interplanet Janet, she's a galaxy girl.
I like it. Well done. Good to see you there, Janet.
Yeah, so good to see you. And it's okay that you're late. You didn't miss much.
There's
we
no
just
such
started
thing.
to dig in.
Right. No such thing as late. You pop in, we love seeing you. That's what.
Oh, and Phoenix Argus wants to know if the red shirt survived. He did.
He did. This is Saturday morning, remember? Yeah. In fact, they probably all did on Saturday morning. So I'm going to go wager, my old wager. I didn't count them. I didn't keep track or anything, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say they probably all did on Saturday morning. So, this one is really just not a whole lot of it makes sense. They get attacked. They don't really explain much of who took them. Well, we'll find out later, but we all of a sudden we just find out they've got the gills in the hands and the fins and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. This episode really just doesn't make a lot of sense. It's fun. It's kind of cute and everything, but this one you can tell, just like I forgot which one we were talking about last week that made me think that everybody was on vacation. All the adults were on vacation. And they did. Which one was that now? I can't remember which one we were talking. Oh, yes. Right. The adults were on vacation. In other words, Rod and Mary and guy said, yeah, you guys just do it. And then, well, this one, they were still on vacation when it was, I mean, nothing against Margaret Arman. No, she's written some Trek. I just don't, again, is this one, you couldn't have done this one in live action at that time anyway, but is this one that your story could have been a bit better? Now, this is definitely one of those ones where you could only do it as a cartoon.
Yeah.
Maybe now, I mean, you'd need almost modern CG technology to do it now.
Yeah.
But back then, not a chance. I mean, they would reject the script outright, even if it did make sense and they had a good because you're not going to have them swimming like the man from Atlantis and Aquaman talking underwater and hearing each other. That's very on Star Trek that they can hear. Look, I love you all know I'm a comic book geek. I love Aquaman. Even in the stupid Jason Momoa Aquaman movie, which was kind of dopey fun. They went ahead and said, screw it. You can talk underwater and hear each other and move around like normal. Fine, because it's Aquaman. It's a fantasy. In this, they don't even pretend. They just said, screw it. They can just talk and hear each other. There's the sound and all that stuff underwater. Yeah. That's not very Trek. Because even
it's not very sciencey, is it?
No, it's not really. They're not really. So I just think the kids got a hold of this one. Nothing wrong. Again, I'm not even saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's kind of fun. It's silly fun, but it's not. For example, it's not as thoughtful as the Time Trap or many of the other episodes, even other ones I do, in my opinion, that we will talk about tonight. There's not a lot of thought within this one. It's just kind of a goofy fun. That's my impression on the episode. Not trashing it or being mean. Anyone likes it, that's cool. Just it's kind of. In fact, look, I'm laughing my ass off when they're being Aquaman swimming.
It's true. It's true.
My inner 8-year-old was enjoying that, folks. So I'm not beating up on the episode like I did Mud's Women, which deserves to be destroyed. And sorry, I mean not Mud's Women, Mud's Passion. Excuse me.
Yes. Exactly.
So anyway, you have notes, I'm sure.
Well, on page 102, we have more of that fascinating, but no whoops. So let's do the fascinating. The life support belts introduced in Beyond the Farthest Star to protect the crew members from the harshness of space, as well as supply a breathable environment, were utilized this time for Scotty to go underwater without a wetsuit and breathing tank. The Aqua Shuttle was the first Starfleet shuttle with weapons in Star Trek. Wow. When I read that, wow. Just wait, let me process that for a second.
Wow.
Okay, I did not know that. A scene, well, but it's not canon. Anyway, scene of Kirk and Spock swimming was taken from the story layout from an episode of Filmation's Aquaman.
They look just like it.
Yeah. And my personal notes for the ambergris or ambergris, if you are American, I wrote, Argo is so intriguing. I love going to new worlds. And then I put Aqua Shuttle, and then underneath, whee!
I like the Aqua Shuttle. It's got
Some of the swimming sequences are traceovers of the animation from Aquaman. Breathing underwater. Love this whole concept. I am a massive fan of Captain Nemo. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is one of my favorite novels of all time. I absolutely love the Nautilus. I love Atlantis, the Odyssey, and it's the stuff of childhood dreams. There's just so much Captain Nemo in this for me. I don't consider it Star Trek. I consider this a Saturday morning cartoon, and I'm waiting for the buff, inhumanly perfect, gorgeous Captain Nemo to saunter on the screen, wearing his glorious turban and just this Sikh prince. I'm waiting for that to happen. And so I like this episode, but it has its faults, and it's most certainly not Star Trek, at least Star Trek I consider.
I guess who's here?
Katie Carr just walked in the door.
Katie!
Hello, beautiful. Love you.
Katie. Good to see you. We love you, and we're so happy to see you. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Yeah. And by the way, I'm not going to attempt to say the word amber because you don't want to know how I was trying to pronounce it. But anyway, I may have only ever seen it because of this episode. I don't even know. I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's just. In fact, because I watched so much of those Aquaman cartoons, that's exactly what you could tell from looking at the cells and stuff. I love, we'll talk about this before. I love Lou Scheimer and I love Filmation. Yeah. And I love his Aquaman cartoon. Just growing up, love it. That's how I was introduced to Aquaman. So this one, my inner 8-year-old can't be cruel to this episode. It's just not really. It is not Trek, as we talked about so much.
I love that you said that. Can you believe that you said that? And in my notes, I put the stuff of childhood dreams.
Yes.
And the first thing out of your mouth was my inner 8-year-old. It is a magical episode in that frame, right? If you took out a golden frame and you framed that gold frame around that, that's what this would be. And I love your comments. There's no way you're watching in 1973. If you're watching this, you're not just going nuts over it because you're thinking about Aquaman and it's cool. They got a big monster. I like the Aqua Shuttle is kind of cool, So there you go. I'm thinking of Captain Nemo and Atlantis.
I love Captain Nemo
and the Odyssey, and you're thinking of Aquaman, is so inspired, like your inner 8-year-old. You're in heaven. You're just in heaven. And I'm waiting for Captain Nemo to walk on the set with his bulging muscles and his beautiful face. And just so cool, Clobby. So cool.
Well, I also love Captain Nemo, and even the James Mason one from those, in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, and all the, there've been a couple. Did you know in the 70s it was a very short-lived Captain Nemo TV show?
Yeah, I watched it.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah, I watched it.
Did it?
Yeah, no, it didn't.
I actually kind of like the guy that played him in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen too. But anyway, that's beside the point. But yeah, Captain Nemo. Well, so number one, was that all your notes on that, or?
It is, boss.
Okay. I will ask you now. I will ask my wonderful first officer to give me her rating of the episode name I'm not going to say because she'll get mad at me and arrest me as a. No, I'm just kidding. The ambergris.
Yes.
The ambergris element, and then I'll give mine, and then I'll ask our chat after that. Please go for it,
boss. I have to give my 8-year-old review, and my 8-year-old review is B+. One of the other kids might have come into the living room and said, how come they're talking underwater? How come you can hear them talking underwater? But that wouldn't have mattered to me because I would have been thinking of Atlantis. I would have been thinking of Captain Nemo. I would have been thinking of this inspired child who just absolutely loved the ocean. And because of that, and the idea of the ocean, and it being an entirely different world, perhaps even more intriguing than space. So for that reason, I have to give it a B+, boss. B+, B+, B+.
Nothing wrong with that. Again, I would I would give it, and for any other episode that just kind of did the kind of things like this that didn't have a lot of Trek element to it, I would have given it a much lower score. So this is not, not a knock, but I'm giving it a C+.
Yeah,
because I'm giving it. I think again. Now, by the way, that's not a bad rate. It's not a low rating or anything. It's just
it's not.
I'm giving it that for. And again, I'd go a lot lower if this one didn't kind of mess with me in some way. Like, didn't make me go, yeah, but who the hell cares if it's silly? It's fun. Because again, you have to remember this show was on Saturday mornings. We keep saying it over and over again on Saturday mornings in 1973. So, they had, and it's not insulting to the characters or to anyone's intelligence the way Mudd's passion is. So, yeah, it's fun.
But it's
fun
not
stuff,
Star Trek. It's not even
no,
slightly.
it's not really Trek.
It's not even slightly Star Trek.
No, it's not.
What's bizarre, I love you so much. You're such a good friend and such a close friend. The first thing that pops into my mind watching it again is the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I'm thinking of Captain Nemo, and you're thinking of Aquaman, and for that reason, it's not Star Trek. So I think that's a fair rating, boss.
By the way, when I say League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I'm talking about the movie that most people don't like, but I don't mind that much because
I love it.
Not the comic, because the comic is really sick and perverted. And if you know the comic and you went there, you should be ashamed of yourself because you know how sick that comic is.
Oh, I don't know anything
but the first
about
few
that.
Are pretty good. I'm just kind of anyone who's read the comic will know that it's pretty disturbing.
It's raunchy or just violent?
It's wow. I have to tell you about it sometime because I know you like the movie.
I do love the movie. I've watched the movie probably, I would say, at least 100 times.
The first comic is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And then later Alan Moore went really insane with it. But anyway.
I'm a Captain Nemo freak, so I can't help myself with League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I have to watch it. Plus, it has Sean Connery in it. And that's a drool fest for me.
Captain Nemo is the best thing in that film to me.
It is. He is.
But I love that. And I love the Nautilus in that. Yeah. And that car.
Oh, the Nautilus is amazing.
And that car, too.
Yeah.
I don't know. People hate that movie. I think the movie's kind of fun, silly, goofy fun.
And it's great because it's steampunk and gothic horror. Anyways, I could go on all night. I'm going to shut up now.
One day we'll talk about it. Everyone, give us your rating of the so-and-so element.
The gray amber
element.
The gray amber element.
Yes, that's in a kind way to put it there. Phantom Outsider, the comic is warped.
It is, hey? Okay.
Especially the second one. The first miniseries was all right. Let's see here. Make sure I'm at the beginning here.
Yeah, we've got them rolling in. I love you, chat. Thank you so much for bearing with us as we digressed.
That's all right. Sorry about that, everyone. R.N. Feliciano. Raymond. B-. Aquaman meets Star Trek. The Aqua Shuttle was joy for a 12-year-old. Yeah. All we are missing is the telepathic gathering of alien fish. However, definitely not Trek.
True.
We're missing what's it, Gloop or Glorp or whatever the hell that little and oh man, why am I forgetting the name of this dolphin now? I'm forgetting Aquaman's dolphin's name. Oh well. I know someone will know it.
Someone in the chat, rescue us. Eric,
damn.
Chris, rescue us.
I'm mad I'm missing it. Yeah, damn it. Someone will know. Anyway. Oh, it was really anyway. C+ for Dark Shadow Logan needed to be fleshed out more.
Yeah.
Story jumped too quick in parts. I think you mentioned. Funny take on the myth of Atlantis and the difference between younger and older generations. That's true. There was a sliver of Trek in there for that kind of stuff. High tech society limited by zealot law. That's good points. That's a little bit of Trek.
This is such a good comment that sometimes when you guys your comments are so well wrought, even given the scant character count. I just want to leave them up for 15 minutes and just enjoy your thoughts. I just love it. Some of your comments are just so well written. I mean, all your comments are great, but sometimes you guys just nail it. You guys are all Babe Ruth. Each and every one of you. You're Babe Ruth. You just hit it right out of the park. Dark Shadow Logan. Great comment here, sir.
Well done. Absolutely. A- for Dadman Walking 55. I can't see. Tying it differently. Oh, excuse me, tying it differently this week, but just really liking tying it. Okay. Anyway, I'll move on. Just really like it for no specific reason. Maybe nostalgia because of the '70s style animation would have gotten high if Kirk made a move on Fish Lady. Well, if it had been a nighttime episode, he would have.
Totally. He would have gone for it.
Badass. A B-. I like in Star Trek 4 how they go back in time to get some fresh ambergris. So good night, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Dude. He's always trying to get me. Sort of Poopa Scuba, number 1 of 2. C. Aquan is someone. Aquan is someone unoriginal name. Oh yeah, for the civilization, the antitoxin.
Yeah, it should be anti-venom. Yeah.
Yes.
Snortopoopas love you.
With suspicious convenience.
Yeah. But all of his points are correct. All of his points are correct. It's too hammy that it's Aquan. They should have done something better than that. And yeah, it should be anti-venom.
Indeed. The words derived from the word. I think it means the words derived from classical myths and history like Argo and Tribune abound, and the ancient city has a very Atlantean appearance.
So Snortopoopas watches this episode the same way I do. Love you, Snortopoopas.
You're the man, Snort. B, I agree with Clobby. This was very Saturday morning, but I thought it was fun in the way they handled things at the end. I know that swimming sequence looked familiar. Oh God,
you knew it. Yeah, you could feel it. Hey, D. Bud Martin.
Yes, the Superman Aquaman hour filmation, love it. Eric K. B, nicer creatures from the Black Lagoon meet Star Trek fun, entertaining episode. Absolutely. And they called him Scuba Pete A+. You know, I couldn't help myself with this episode. It gave me those Super Friends vibes I dearly love. Well, I love them too. I love the Super Friends. Aqua Shuttle one day, I hope to scuba dive ambergris K in Honduras.
Oh my gosh. See, these are one of those comments. I want to journal this comment. I love you, Scuba Pete.
Well, you know, he is Scuba Pete. His figures, he would really like this one. He is a scuba.
Yep, he is.
He's a Scuba Pete. So, yeah, perfect. Well done, sir. Sandra Feliciano, B-. There are too many stretches of credulity. As a kid, I thought it was fun, but now I'm seeing how improbable the whole concept is. Yeah, there's that, my friend.
Yeah.
No question about it.
Yeah.
Doug 35, C- didn't seem Trek to me. No, it really is. That's a good call.
That's a fair comment. That's a fair comment.
Oh yeah. That is totally fair. It's like they hated the classic characters from the comics. I'm not sure what he's for. Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at a different one there.
Okay.
J.T. Kirk. 6 broken ordainments out of 10. Mutation pills and idea is just weird and doesn't evolve with the time since this originally aired. Now, that's absolutely fair. You know, so no question about it. Seabitch 1 of 12. Huh?
I think he's just messing with you.
Whoa. I ought to. Don't make me come up there. Don't make me turn this stream around.
You would feel the wrath of Clobby and Rock. It would be like the Clobby and Rock would the wrath of Clobby and Rock.
For Steve, I would read 12. He knows that. Whom I judge this animation? Indeed, what is animation? Webster's defines animation as to bestow life or the illusion of life. When Chuck Jones began as a cell washer at Warner, it's going to take me a while to find the other 11, buddy, but I'm on it, I promise.
He went to Frankenstein. He went there. Steve Mitchum just took it to Frankenstein. Our first the first time we ever created science fiction. Steve Mitchum, what a great place to take your dialogue and to take your critique. Love you.
I got to try to find the other ones, man. You're going to have to give me some time on it because I don't see them yet. Chris Persia, is that a rating, Chris? No, I don't know if it's a rating, but anyway, so the only way I can rescue you is by saying they used Kirk's appearance from this episode as the template for Patrick Duffy and Man from Atlantis. I watched that recently. Tusky. Yeah, the walrus was Tusky, but I keep forgetting the damn Fluke. The dolphin was Fluke. Now I remember.
Oh, what a great name.
Yes, indeed. And he wasn't a fluke, though. He was a dolphin. But still. Let's see. And he rode seahorses, by the way. A lot. Even as a kid, I was aggravated that Aquaman was riding and Aqualad were riding seahorses. Was anyone else have a problem with that, or was it just me? Because we didn't need them. Phantom Outsider B. No ambergris was found in this episode. A plot by Louis the Lillian. I think you mean Louis the Lilac who played by Milton Berle, by the way. Where is Adam West when Kirk needs him? Also, what an unusually large fish tank in his sick bay. I'm glad they got that fish tank in there. That aquarium. That came in handy, didn't it?
Hello, computer.
Hello, computer. A keyboard. How quaint. D for the great Mark D with a C. 4 out of 5 men from Atlantis. What episode? Q would have been jealous of that Aqua Shuttle, Kirk and Spock, or Aquaman and Aqualad, despite the silliness.
Yep.
By the way, they did an issue very recently of Star Trek Year 5, the IDW comic. I didn't buy it because I stopped collecting it, but they went to a world where they were swimming underwater like that. So they actually ripped it off. Reminds me of when Voyager came across a water planet. And in the episode, I like that episode, actually, Katie. That was 30 Days. I remember that one when Tom got himself in trouble.
Okay, so one of my favorite people in the internet just walked in the room. TMF is
Toxic
here.
Man Flu.
Baby, TMF has arrived.
What up?
What?
What?
I love you.
What is up with your bad self, buddy? Good to see you. Let's see here. Number 2. Oh, here we go. It still manages to give good Trek messages like this. It is quite possible, Captain, that they find us grotesque and ugly, and many people fear beings different from themselves.
Yes.
True. A good point.
Funny that stood out to you, because that line always stands out to me. Hey, that 70s rock fan's here.
Oh,
hello.
all right.
Hello.
Dr. Manflu says, A+, I can breathe underwater, so I'm not sure why people have problems with this episode. Well, I don't know either. I don't. That's a good point. Because I have heard that you are from Atlantis. So, yeah. Nice. Let's see here. But yes, Katie, incidentally, back on that. Yeah, I do remember that episode. Actually, I like that. I think that's where Tom got himself demoted. Tom Paris. Yeah. Let's see here.
He got in trouble.
That's right. He got his butt in trouble, didn't he? See if we got all our ratings in order. Let me make sure. Yeah, he's filling in for Ash. I don't see that other one, Steve. So now you made me look for it, dude. Don't make me turn this podcast around, young man.
Katie Carr,
Raquel.
Star Trek: The Quest for the Little Mermaid.
Yes, that will happen.
Yeah.
Raquel, kisses from Maddie.
Oh, I love Maddie. Is she back from California yet?
Must be back. He's right there.
Love her. She's such a beautiful, beautiful little girl.
Good to see you, that 70s rock fan, buddy. Thank you for being here. All right, I think we've got all of our ratings. If I miss anyone, anytime I ever miss a rating, our new system is this, folks. If whatever it was, when we get to the next patch of ratings, tag it on to that one. And just say, hey, you missed mine, you dumbass. Read this one, and I'll do it. As long as you say you dumbass, because if you don't say that, I'm not going to read it.
Yes, don't call.
You have to.
Please don't call my captain a dumbass.
Well, double dumbass on you. Oh, good okey. So here we go.
Oh no, Steve, no, you don't need to thank me. It's not a compliment. I'm just telling you the truth. And as I say in real life, when I'm standing in the grocery store and I see a mother and a father and a beautiful child, the first thing I say is, Nice recipe. She's gorgeous, and you should be very proud.
Indeedishness. And let's see. I think. All right. Okay. Well, what do you think? Or is we ready, or is we not?
I think we're good.
Okay.
Unless the chat has anything to say, I think we should move on to the next one, folks.
All right. Let's see here. That not Trek. Oh, was it Phoenix Argus? That not Trek comment. Maybe I bring out the TNG book. I'm not sure which one you're referring to there, Phoenix, but because I probably already forgot what I said. So there you go. All right. Well, our next episode, folks, is the Slaver Weapon,
Season 1, Episode 14, air date December 15th, 1973.
Go for it.
Okay, well, the first sentence is a little weird. As many of you know, I read extemporaneously. I don't practice or pre-read this. And, I have some issues with the way this book is written, despite its wonderful, beautiful, never seen before content. Never before seen content. But here, a very strange opener. So let's see if this goes totally off the rails. We're on page 104 of the Harvey Skepis book entitled Star Trek, the Official Guide to the Animated Series.
Captain Hipster Spock, welcome. And by the way, Apollome's minion, that is too kind. You didn't have to do that. Thank you so much.
Pupper.
She's sending something to me. Oh, you're too kind, my dear. But go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
A second stasis box seems to have appeared, causing Spock to investigate. Turns out the box was a trap set by the Zinti, who easily captures Spock, Sulu, and Uhura. The first officer prepares his team for the Zinti, whose telepathic efforts will focus on Sulu since he is a meat eater. They find herbivores disgusting and consider women as weak, a comment Uhura clearly dislikes. The Zinti open the box and discover several items, including what appears to be a weapon. The Enterprise trio watches as the Zinti test the device's multiple settings, which reveal a laser, telescope, and personal rocket. The final setting accessed is an energy absorber, which releases the Starfleet trio from their confinement. Spock attacks Chuff Captain, knocking the device free, which the Vulcan easily claims. In their escape attempt, Uhura is captured again. Sulu believes the Zinti will call for assistance, but Spock explains that his attack dishonored Chuff Captain, who will be required to extract revenge to extract? No, that should be exact revenge. You don't extract revenge? What?
That would be painful.
Yeah, it's exact revenge. Skepis, Harvey, hire an editor. A revenge on the Vulcan.
Proofreader too, right?
It's so bad. Turning down Chuff Captain's offer to trade Uhura for the device, Sulu tests its other settings to discover it is indeed a powerful weapon. The resulting explosion knocks Spock and Sulu unconscious, allowing the Zinti to recover the weapon and imprison them again. Chuff Captain, trying to locate the weapon setting, accidentally activates the device's computer, which identifies the Zinti to be its enemy. It double crosses the Zinti by indicating an incorrect setting, destroying the Zinti and the device when activated. And that's all that's in the summary. Oh, but I did highlight this from this particular chapter, like this episode coverage, because you had asked me to look for it. And so regarding this, there is a section on page 106. It says debunking an urban legend. Well, it wouldn't be an urban legend, though. It would be a legend. It would be like a factoid in lore. Anyway, decades have passed with fans believing that Niven or Niven was upset over the color choice for the Zinti uniforms, which were reported as a result of the first season director Hal Sutherland's color blindness. However, storyboard artist Robert Klein set the record straight, explaining colorist Irv Kaplan just liked pink. I was fine with the colors, Niven declared. Dorothy Fontana tried to apologize to me for all that pink. I told her to relax. I gave the Zin planet a lot of orange and red vegetation. And that's it.
You know, Larry Niven, I mean, this was based on a short story he did. I don't know if I used to have it. But he also wrote a bunch of books with the Kzinti.
Yep.
The Man Kazin Wars. Because, you know, and we talked earlier about how there, this episode, about how some of the things they did just totally run awry of canon. Hey there, Cam.
Hey.
Welcome. You know, they run awry, you know, they run afoul of canon a lot. Well, this one, there are things in it that says that Earth has fought many wars against the Kzinti.
Mm-hmm.
And the last one was 200 years ago, Spock says at some point.
Yeah.
So, and of course, that was just ignored, which is fine. I'm not knocking. I'm just saying. I think I used to have.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Captain.
That's okay.
I beg your pardon, my wonderful Captain, but Snortaboopus. This episode brought to you by Pepto-Bismol. So funny. So funny.
Niven's a huge, you know, an extraordinarily successful and well-known science fiction writer. I've actually met him at a con a couple times. He's a nice guy. And I don't know if he's still with us or not, to be quite honest. I know he's up there, but I think he is. He is, I'm pretty sure. No, I'm not 100% sure, but I know about the Ring World books. He did a lot of stuff with Paul Anderson and Jerry Pournelle, a lot of big name science fiction writers. They based that story on a short story, but later, I guess.
Yeah, boss, he's still alive.
Is he? Okay, well, good. And I guess he just took those characters, and then they didn't. I guess Star Trek didn't own the name or whatever, or how that works, because it was from his story to begin with, and he did tons and tons of books. Like the Man Kazin Wars or whatever the hell they were. I haven't really read any of it in a long time, maybe for a couple of the other ones. But the point is, he kind of took. They're still his characters. And anyway, about this episode though, here we are. We're back to Trek in a sense. I kind of like the idea of having an episode with just Spock, Uhura, and Sulu.
Yep.
And the shuttle looks a little weird, but you know.
Yeah. William Shatner's ego must have been bruised here, but
yeah. What happened, Shat? Yeah, I mean, I think maybe he was glad, maybe he was busy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think this is a very ambitious episode. Again, another one of those examples of it needed to be longer, but nevertheless, I've always really liked this one. I think it's an interesting story. Sure, you can go now. What you know? It's kind of someone said something about literally like mystery box writing as a joke, because we always talk about that garbage.
Yeah.
Mystery box writing style of Jar Jar Abrams.
Yeah.
But in this case, it kind of works. We don't know much about the slavers. We're never going to know anything about them. They're really not in that. That's something that definitely is not in Star Trek lore.
Yeah.
But still, I think it was a fascinating story. I like some of that stuff where that Spock was able to, you know, and Uhura were able to plot behind their back and say, well, look, they don't consider females in their society, females are dumb. And Spock said they're dumb animals. And he said they don't, you know, that might be able to we use it to our advantage. And Uhura's so smart. And so she goes, you know, rather than just get all pissed off about it, she goes, oh yeah, and she does, and she's, you know, she gets a lot to do in this episode because of that. And then later, though, the Kzinti though do know that human females are intelligent, but one of them doesn't, but the captain does, or whatever. So some of that stuff again is very Star Trek. This thing, this weapon, is a pretty good science fiction concept. We're not really sure what's going on. We say it all the time that as long as if you can't explain something, don't explain it too much.
Just don't leave it alone.
Right. So I've always found this a fairly entertaining episode with some good ideas. This is unlike the Embry element. This one is more like it in terms of this is more Trek, like it's a Trek type story. Of course, obviously there's Trek action in it and things like this. But I've always really liked it. This is science fiction. This is very Star Trek science fiction to me.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I totally agree. I totally agree. I think that it's great to have such an award-winning author involved. And, I would have to go back and verify it, but I believe that Gene Roddenberry knew him and went to him and said, will you adapt a story for this? And there was, I seem to remember reading in several places that Gene specifically approached him to have him contribute his work here, and to great effect, because we see some really good science fiction, and that's what we have here.
Yes, and also the better episodes of this show that are more like, every time I say something is like it's true, it's Trekish. I mean, even if they don't add it later into the canon or whatever. Bruce Pratt, welcome, good to see you. I mean that as the highest compliment. It is very Trek, and this one is because there's also a lot of very mature writing that isn't your standard Saturday morning fare with the stuff where Spock is explaining that the Kzinti have no respect for herbivores. But he said, and so he tells Sulu, they'll respect you because even though they've had wars with humans, they at least know humans are are carnivores like them. So they respect you for this. So in a sense, the Kzinti are really written like the way the Klingons were later changed to be like. In a sense, absolutely. Remember, Spock attacks one of them, and it's the ultimate insult, and he's got to have his honor and all kind of stuff. Those Kzinti they have certain honor and things like that. Hey, look, this is before. This is before Klingons were kind of changed into that type of character. Larry Niven kind of did it with the Kzinti.
I agree.
Yeah, so I just always liked this episode. I always thought it was interesting. It was kind of nice to see a little side adventure of Spock, Sulu, and Uhura. They all got something to do. You'd want to see more than that. It's Ringworld, by the way. That 70s rock fan. He's Larry Niven is known for the Ringworld books.
Yeah, right? Ringworld.
And so pure science fiction right here by a science fiction writer, which was not unusual for Trek, either the old series or the animated. Science fiction writers were always sought out. So and he's a big time one. So I like the Slaver Weapon.
Yeah,
so
me too.
Notes?
Well, on page 108, we have some fascinating, and we also have some whoops. So on fascinating, it says, this is the only time that a character is killed in the animated series. So if you play any trivia games, heads up there, this is the only time a character is killed on TAS. Star Trek The Next Generation's Arsenal of Freedom also featured a long-dead civilization's dormant weapons at the center of its story. And in whoops, stars are missing behind the shuttle in a scene at the beginning of the episode. On the planet, a close-up of Sulu's head is just that, as his body does not appear. Spock, Sulu, and Uhura do not have their life support belts on, but are still protected by their glowing fields. I noticed that and was going to say something, and my personal notes. Cats, man-eating cats. Written by renowned science fiction author Larry Niven, Ringworld 1970. I have in my notes, this is very well written, although obviously adjusted some of the dialogue for children. Sure. My favorite quote from this episode is just a master stroke. Total conversion of matter to energy. And of course, that's said by Spock. So I'd just like to echo and amplify all of your statements. I do think that the Klingons were based on these cats, man-eating cats. And I think that it is a feather in the cap of real Star Trek to have Larry Niven be a part of any part of Star Trek. He's wonderful to have around. The detail of the story, the fact that he covered all of the plot holes through dialogue. It's just due care and attention, and a wonderful mind that does not present an old trope, but something totally new. And it's just wonderful to watch. It's just welcome. The
adults came back to work.
Yeah.
after Mud's Passion and
Yeah.
you know, some other stuff. And they gave us a solid science fiction story with this very ambitious for an animated show. Disaster Area, great to see you. Always,
Hey.
as a big fan of Hitchhiker's Guide, I love that name, sir. So, yes.
Canadian Spider-Man says, you have, where did it go? You have a wicked sense of humor, bud. You need to join up. Go get, we need to join up. Go get Raquel on the other side of the Rockies and have a beer or 10. Canadian Spider-Man, I will take you up on that offer, sir. Anytime. Yeah. I'm just on the other side of the Rockies.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So you know what? Again, this one has always been one of my very favorites of the series. So I will ask you, my wonderful first officer, for your rating of the slaver weapon. Then I will give mine, and then I will ask our illustrious chat for theirs. So, number one, what is your rating for the slaver weapon?
My rating is total conversion of matter to energy. A-, sir.
Excellent. I give this one an A. A for ambition.
Yes.
I believe it was really ambitious. I believe, wow, if this was the kind of thing that well, like some of the other episodes we've already talked about, maybe a few more we will talk about, this is one of the ones that just stands up there and could have, I mean, obviously it would have been very difficult to do the Kazenti on the original series in the 60s, but still, that story is worthy of, you know, again, and a much longer story as well. And I just love the idea that they have one that it's just those crew members alone on an adventure.
Yeah.
And so
this Niven fellow, I've never read Ringworld, but I will tell you this: I really enjoyed the way that he wrote this story, and he has earned all of those awards. And basically, if you look at his bio, he's won every science fiction award that they have available. If it's a science fiction award, chances are he either won it or was nominated for it. So wow, I just feel so lucky to have him involved with Star Trek, and I thank him for his wonderful work. He's 83 years old, and if he ever gets wind of the fact that we were talking about his work, I would just like to say you are a feather in the cap of real Star Trek, sir, and you are an excellent author, and just I love your science fiction. I love your ideas. Thank you, Larry.
He was quite prolific. I think I had a book at some point that had maybe I read it or borrowed one that had, or maybe got it out of the library that had his original short story, The Soft Weapon, but I can't remember much about it. It was so long ago. So anyway, I will ask our wonderful chat. I hope I'm at the beginning of the ratings to make sure. For your ratings
man flu
on the slaver weapon, is that the first one? Okay,
I think so. I think it's TMF. He's first out the gate.
Toxic Man Flu does an A+. This was way better than the live action version of the musical Cats. Niven spins a great ball of yarn on this one. Well done, sir. Bravo. Nice job, TMF.
Oh, so good. Fantastic, baby. You were missed.
I love some Toxic Man Flu there. Appreciate you. Canadian Spider-Man, A, simply because I had fun watching it. Do sometimes you all forget you are watching a cartoon? Yes, this is unlike, this is one of those. This is like watching Trek. This felt like TOS. P.S. Raquel, I'm wearing my suit with that 70s Rocks fan. At that 70s Rocks fan to go over to you. Well,
Canadian Spider-Man. I won't use your real name. Well, I think you've said it before in public, so whatever. But anyways, Steve, you clean up nice. You look very good in a suit. You are a very handsome man. So, if you show up in a suit, we're going to have to go somewhere really nice.
Indeed. He gave it an A twice there. Canadian Spidey. Raymond Feliciano, B, 4 out of 5. Sprigs of catnip. Star Trek meets cat people. Where is David Bowie? Love the shuttle, but the ultimate weapon trope is old. Again, another one of those and needs more time. Pretty much most of them do.
Cat people scared the bejesus out of me when I was young. I just, that movie was just, it was so dark and freaky. Canadian Spidey says, the Canadian Spider-Man says, I'm at my Spidey suit.
Oh, that
either
one.
either or. But yeah, if you show up in cause, then I'm gonna have to cause. What do you do to me, Steve?
Spidey suits are cool.
Love you, Canadian Spider-Man.
Dark Shadow Logan C+. Another laughable cat alien. Klingon cat alien beliefs. Klingon cat alien beliefs. Spiderweb jail. Uhura keeps getting stunned, causing everyone getting captured over and over. Laughs and serious ending. Save this. B+ from the great Eric K.
Yeah.
It is good they destroy themselves by not knowing how the Kazenti build things and what its purpose was. Gesundheit, Clubby. You had quite a Kazenti fit while trying to speak about this. I did. Well, I guess I just don't. I did. Well, I've got Eric to tell me these things because how would I know? Yeah, appreciate it, man. Eric takes care of me.
That 70s rock fan, he's gonna wear a onesie.
Ooh, don't take a picture. I'm just kidding.
Don't wear a onesie. We'll get thrown out of wherever we go.
TAS B+. I'd make captain in a week in Starfleet. I could beat these bad guys with a laser pointer and a bowl of milk. And if they tried to escape, I'd just press the can over and they would run back to me. Well, you know, Spock did say that they kicked their ass in many wars.
Oh, so good. That would actually make me tear up. Just press a can opener. Nicely
done, Pat.
So good. So good.
Making Raquel cry.
So good.
A- for D. Bud Martin. I love that this spotlighted Spock, Uhura, Sulu, and it shows Uhura and Sulu as being as capable as the main trio. Feels a little like the Galileo 7 with Spock being the lead again. Yes, it does have that.
I can see that, D. Bud.
It absolutely does recall that a good bit. And they call him Scuba Pete B.
Scuba Pete!
Liked the cool space archaeology going on for the slaver relics.
Yep.
Is it just me? Or could Kirk have traded the Kazenti a bag of Frisky's cat food for Uhura and kept the weapon? Meow. I don't know.
Meow.
We had to expect cat jokes, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yes. Sandra A. I enjoy this author's work. Aside from that, the story was interesting and well developed. Yeah,
especially for 22 minutes. And that's all in. It's 22 minutes all in.
You don't get a lot of time. No, you really don't. Yeah. JT Kirk. C is for cats. C for cat. This is my cat's favorite TAS episode. If you're looking to extract revenge, know that revenge is a disc best served cold. Or severed cold in this case.
I love you, JT.
How dare you? Well done, JT. Well done.
Oh, so good.
Snortahoopas. It seems easier to leave Kirk out of an animated episode. This is an interesting episode with good deductive work by Sulu and Uhura, getting to do more than open hailing frequencies.
Yeah, true.
Yes. See, that's why I don't mind. Yes, she gets stunned and all that kind of stuff, but she's doing things and she's participating. Yep. So, yeah, I mean, I really like it. I really like this one. Let's see.
Sometimes I think too, though, like I would just like to say as a woman that sometimes I feel like people put too much emphasis on that because, you know, although I appreciate it, I appreciate them standing up for women and wanting to see women do more and so on and so forth. I don't know. Like I find it's also realistic. What I do most of the day, I'm a communications and technology scholar. Uhura is a communications and technology engineer. We have pretty similar lives if she were real. And most of my day is spent not talking to anyone at all, taking a couple of orders and then working quietly. I have a very boring job. So my reality is just a couple of eye captains. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, you know, like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely.
Anyways, I also appreciate it when wonderful, educated gentlemen are like, let's see more of the woman astronaut. Let's see what she can do. And for men to step forward and say those kinds of things, I also appreciate that immensely. And I love you for it.
Well, absolutely, absolutely. And let's see. I don't know if we got all the reviews yet. By the way,
did we get Mark D with a C? He's
I
coming
don't,
late.
oh no,
boss.
okay. Phoenix Argus did say that Kazinti would later show up in the PC game Star Trek Starfleet Command as the Lyran Star Empire, and then in Starfleet Command 2 as in the Mirak Starlink. Okay, thank you for that. As always, great info coming from Phoenix Argus. See these eyes. Let's see here. Let me find.
He's at 47 minutes past the hour.
Oh, we got Dadman as well. Sorry, I'm not
Dadman too. Yeah.
A from Dadman. Yes, best episode yet for many of the same reasons Clobberin stated. Plus, the ending was logical and made sense that the weapon would not be captured.
Yeah.
Not too creepy with cats. Could have been tiki dolls. Yes. Yeah. Thank you for not being tiki dolls. Good point. That is an excellent point there, Dadman. Appreciate you for that. Let's see here. Did you say there's another one? Where's Mark D with the C?
Yeah,
there
Mark
he
D
is.
with
There
the C
he
at
is.
47 minutes past the hour.
Gotcha.
Hey, your Muslim uncle just walked in the door. Don't forget to write his name down. Welcome, fine sir. Thank you so much for stopping in.
Thanks. Good to see you there. Good to see you, buddy. Let's see here. A for Mark D with the C, 5 out of 5 lovable fuzzballs. Fantastic story with lots of intelligent plot points and dialogue. The mystery box actually has answers and contains an ultimate nullifier. Yes, it does. It is sort of like the ultimate nullifier. Nice Fantastic Four reference. If only the STD writers had 1/10 of Niven's imagination. One, not even a tenth, buddy. You were so right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Did you say
the
there was
filth
another
machine?
One? The filth, indeed. Let's see. I do believe we are now current on our.
We are.
Okay, I think we're up to speed on our reviews. If let's see, I do believe so. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. What about it? Are we about ready to run?
We are.
What do you think?
We are. JT Kirk says 1/100th even.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
Absolutely. Okay, well, everyone, we're about to jump to our next episode. If everyone's good with that, let us see.
Keeping us copyright compliant. We are, as a base source of text, we are using Star Trek: The Official Guide to the Animated Series by Aaron Harvey and Rich Skepis. And we're just going to read the mission briefing to bring everybody up to speed on where we're at so that we can discuss this episode. And right now we're on page 110. We are on season 1, episode 15, air date January 5th, 1974, The Eye of the Beholder, written by David P. Harmon. Here we go. Whoops! Kirk learns 3 of the science crew's members went missing on the planet, prompting their commanding officer to beam down with his remaining complement to search for them. Bad idea. Kirk decides to take only Spock and McCoy down to the planet and not to enter the crew of the Enterprise because he knows how to follow regulations. The trio immediately encounters several familiar types of species and environments, all within close proximity, which is not logical. They pick up a Starfleet signal and head off in its direction. A mystery has presented itself, and Spock attempts to work through the clues, noting the animals and disparate environments are now the water, which is too pure, too good to be true. The Enterprise science officer is interrupted when 3 Lactrans sees Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. Spock hypothesizes that Lactrans communicate telepathically, while Kirk and McCoy note they seem to be jailed. Spock continues to put clues together and explains they are not jailed, but exhibits in a zoo, taken past enclosures containing what appears to be stuffed animals in a museum display. The trio is placed in a new compound suitable for living, where they find the surviving 3 members of the science team they were looking for. Spock believes they can put thoughts into Lactran's heads so they will respond to their needs, which McCoy proves when he is given back his medical kit to treat one of the ill science team members. Kirk wants to look for a weak link in the force field, but is told by Spock that the aliens clearly mean to keep them caged for life.
Attempting to trick a Lactrin into giving them a communicator, Kirk feigns illness while the rest project the thought that the device is needed to help him. The ruse is successful, and Kirk immediately calls the Enterprise for beam out. However, a baby Lactrin grabs the communicator and is beamed up in his place and proceeds to take the Enterprise on a joyride. The Lactrin's parents mentally attack Kirk, blaming him for the youth's disappearance. But before they can deliver a possible final blow, Scotty and the young Lactrin return. Scotty explains the child absorbed all the knowledge about the Federation and Enterprise through the ship's computers, and the chief engineer was able to convince it to release the ship. Understanding the humans to be too intelligent for captivity, the Lactrins release them as well. Spock notes the highly advanced species would welcome humanity back in 20 or 30 centuries of either human time or Lactrin, which Kirk says will be somebody else's problem to determine. We'd just like to note right now, there are no fewer than 10 copyright errors in this entry. What do you think of the coverage?
Well, first, let me say hello to Brett Cohen for popping in. And
hey, Brett!
Michael Beacom.
Hey, Michael.
Good to see you. Thank you for popping in, both of you. I like this episode, actually.
Me too.
And I like it because, again, it's just broken record time. This is so very Star Trek. They're again. Some episodes are very Saturday morning, like I said earlier, and some are very Star Trek. This one is, and not just because it's named after one of my favorite, except for the favorite Twilight Zone episodes. There's almost a Twilight Zone component to it in a sense.
Yes.
It's slow burn. It first kind of starts out where some kind of silly things seem to be happening to them on this planet. At first, you don't know what's kind of going on, and once we get to meet these really, really, again, crazy aliens, that this is one of those things that Gene couldn't do. No way in hell you can do these aliens like this. You can do a Horta, but you can't do these.
Yeah.
And of course, you can't do the dinosaur monster thingies and all that
I
stuff.
love that they look like whales. I love that Gene got to express that. You know what I mean? And he was always talking about that idea that when we reach out, what reaches back is not going to be an Area 51 alien with, Area 51, typical Area 51 looks, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I love that. I love that these aliens are so, and again, I mean, they're so way in advance, so far more evolved than us mentally, that they don't understand. They actually don't know that they're hurting anybody by putting them in captivity. I think they're not doing it for evil reasons. They don't know that they don't think they're hurting. I guess we're kind of insects to them, or we seem that way. But I love the fact that they came to an understanding, and I love the fact that it was not as easy as, well, it's similar to the Horta. Spock had to make a mental contact with him.
Yeah,
not just a matter of just meeting an alien, having a conversation. It was very difficult to get through to them. In fact, they're so far above us, it took one of their children to understand, to be naive enough almost, or closer enough to us to be able to understand us. I also love the fact that they look so alien from us, but they are good beings. Yes, I know they're putting people in a quote unquote. Well, we think it's a zoo. That's the zoo. That's the term they're using. They probably don't even view it that way. But I love the fact that they are so alien that we had to find a way, a nonviolent, peaceful way to communicate with them. That's so Star Trek. That's what I'm saying. This episode is so Star Trek in every single way it could possibly be. You could argue that it needed more time. Like so many of these episodes, you really needed more time to flesh it out a little bit in terms of what went on the ship with Scotty and the child of these beings. Still, I love the fact that everything was peaceful. Everything turned out to be a matter of communication. I always love it when they make. This is one of the fundamental elements of Star Trek. Foundations of Star Trek to me is problems being solved by communication and mutual understanding rather than just violence. They didn't resort to violence, and no matter how alien these beings were, they're not monsters. That's pure Trek. and in other hands, it could have been handled a lot worse. So I did enjoy this episode, but I will fully admit it. You probably needed a lot more time. It could have been a lot better, but I like it a lot.
Yeah, I think it's a great episode too, and I have a lot of I'll dig into the fascinating, and then also the whoops.
Go for it.
So if you're following along, we're on page 112. So under the category of fascinating, there were several similarities to the first Star Trek pilot, The Cage, which at that time had never been broadcast except as part of the menagerie. The Lactrans behaved much like the Talosians, observing the Starfleet crew in captivity, responding to their needs, and using their mental abilities to deliver punishment. Yeah, it's funny because that's cool. That's also in my in my personal notes. I find that it is like The Cage. Eye of the Beholder was also the title of the 7th season episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation, TNG, although there was no resemblance between the two stories. The Lactrans displayed a likeness in their quick mental communication abilities similar to TNG's binars in on, off, on, off, on. I'm not going to do all the ons and offs. Just binary. Get over it. All right. And under the whoops, we have a staple of TOS was also one for a staple of TOS was also one for TAS, as both shows utilize stock images created ahead of time to be reused in multiple episodes. However, Filmation's close-up of the transporter controls always featured Mr. Kyle, even when Scotty, as in this episode, was the one at the console. And Markel and Bryce's Delta insignias appear on the opposite side of their uniforms in one scene. And as many of you know, the reason being, when we started this series, we explained at the beginning of the book that would entail a lot more drawing, and it would have been a lot more expensive. And so for my personal notes, I have almost nothing for this episode. Clobby, you pretty much said everything I was going to say. I just said this is a lot like The Cage, and what tremendous messaging for children. And that's all I have in my notes, because I thought we would discuss it, but you pretty much got to everything I wanted to talk about.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, I love that. I love it that when we're of one mind in that way. And I thought it was cool that that the authors thought it was like The Cage, because I too felt it was like The Cage.
Yes.
I wonder if Seth MacFarlane watched this episode for his version of The Cage.
Oh, the one he did for the Orville, like the second episode. Yeah. Well, you know, not only that, that one he did for, it's also, there's a Twilight Zone episode with Roddy McDowall where he's in a cage, when he's in a zoo thing. So yes, like that.
Oh, I think I remember that one. I haven't seen that one in a long time.
Oh yeah, I forget the name of that for some reason. That episode, but I love it. But yeah, you know, by the way, fun note about the oops thing about the Delta shields being switched is Filmation was notorious for that on their old Adventures of Batman episodes, in particular, with Ted Knight doing the voices and Olden Soule doing the voice of Batman many years earlier, where there were times when Batman's insignia would be, instead of the yellow around the black bat, sometimes it would be reversed. Yeah. And sometimes it would, like pieces of the costume would disappear. Sometimes they show him without a bat at all. Yeah. So yeah, the Filmation used to happen a lot. It wasn't just one thing.
And it happens in layers, I guess. And it's important to note, I'm a nerd, not a geek. I don't know a lot about comics, but or any type of animation. For that, we have Steve Mitchum and others. But yeah, Snortopupus, he said, they flipped the cell. Yeah, they flipped the cells to save money. And I believe they also occur in layers. So that's why sometimes body parts are missing. Like that's why Sulu didn't have a body and stuff like that. So some of it was, Steve Mitchum, Filmation cut a lot of corners. They had to. I mean, the budget was almost nil here.
Yes, there is. I mean, there's just no budget back then, especially back then. And actually, This might have been the biggest budget thing they ever did. I don't know. I mean, cartoon they did at the time for sure because there was.
Oh,
but
yeah.
anyway, yeah. So you have notes.
No, all
more
of my
notes,
notes
or-
were basically talking points where I was going to discuss that this was like the cage, the great
Okay.
messaging for children, and just these advanced concepts, and being able to explore Gene being able to explore these unreasonable ideas that could not be brought to live action. There, when we imagine these otherworldly creatures. They're not going to look like we suppose. They're not going to look like Area 51 creatures. And so this is an exemplification of that in my mind. This is really Gene having a good go at it and enjoying himself thoroughly.
Well, yeah, that absolutely. By the way, yes, disaster area. That is true. Doctor Who and Lost in Space also had episodes back then with people putting in humans in museums and stuff. So I guess it's a common.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
So number one, what is your rating of? I will ask number one, then I'll give mine, then I'll ask my wonderful chat here. What is your rating for The Eye of the Beholder?
This one is a B- for me, boss.
Indeed. I have it at a B. So again, just because I kind of like the content, we're always closer. Yeah. I have it at a B. Again, and by the way, that's a high rating for an episode of the animated series for me.
It is.
It's this is Trek again. Like I say, it stumbles here and there because or maybe not so much stumbles, but suffers from a few. Well, like a lot of them, it needs more time to breathe that it's never going to get. So, but I still like it and admire it. I admire anytime they really get ambitious and go out there and try to make something intelligent like that. And so, I like this one. So, all right, chat. What do you think? What is your rating of Eye of the Beholder, as in the Eye of the Beholder, right? That is.
Yes.
Go for it. And we will await them. We're making good time tonight, though.
Yeah.
I think, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we some pros, yeah. Up and here.
Oh, here they come rolling in now, boss.
All right, are we rolling? Ooh,
I think Pat is first out of the gate.
All right, let's see here. That is correct. Stephen Ernest at Twilight Zone did indeed have one. Oh, that's right. Yeah, Susan Oliver was in that. I forgot. I knew Roddy McDowell, but I forgot Susan Oliver was in that.
I forgot that Susan Oliver was in that one.
Nice. I love Twilight Zone. Pat S. B+. Scotty's a red shirt sure is for engineering and not security. Yeah. Good grief. Someone stole the Enterprise again. Must be Saturday morning. Yeah. Yeah. I like that Scotty, handled it. And Scotty made friends with the creature. Well done. Yes, indeed. Dark Shadow Logan says A equals. I mean, do you mean minus? Or I'm not sure. But maybe it's accidentally put the equal. I don't know. Anyway, or maybe it meant A plus. I'm not sure. Maybe you may have meant a plus by accident because it's the same key thingy. Great story about how very evolved species may look at and treat us. I like that's one of the things I liked a lot about it as well. Dark Shadow Logan.
Yeah.
Also shows how through innovation, understanding, and empathy, humans and these aliens part ways as friends. Cage-like.
Yeah.
Yes, cage-like indeed.
I agree.
As in like the cage. Yes.
Yep. And good I like point. That Dark Shadow Logan also saw that there was this undercurrent of teaching children a very adult message. I read that loud and clear as well, and I definitely appreciate it.
That's when Filmation in Trek that, and then there's their other show, Fat Albert, of course, was really good at being at teaching. In fact, Lou Scheimer, that was an edict with him. He later did I never watched He-Man much, but a lot of my friends who are big He-Man fans, he will tell you. And he said in an interview, he passed, but he used to say, "I'm not just making. When I make a cartoon, I want to make something that can teach kids good things." And that was Lou Scheimer, and everything he did was like that. And Star Trek is great at that as well. Snortopupus cuba B+, the ability to develop a non-humanoid races, I think, and species, is notable in this episode. Although the flying dragons are a cost-saving reuse of an earlier design.
Snortopupus, is it third or fourth time for the pterodactyls?
Oh man,
I think
that was 2 in a row. In fact,
it's 2 in a row, but I think it's 4 total. Snorty, what's your total on that? I think it's 4.
Could be.
Anyway, good point,
Might-
Snortapoopus, as usual.
Yes.
I love you. You're a good bear.
Good bear. Raymond Feliciano. B, 4 to 5 space slugs. Hints of the cage, definitely Trek.
Yes.
Hashtag make TAS canon. Off subject. Why do they use the same cold card? Cold
I don't
card?
know. I don't know what that means.
I don't either.
But I
Right.
do like that he called them space slugs. They
Yes.
look like whales and elephants. I don't know.
Yes,
is
I don't know
it-
what a cold card is.
Is that
Should I know
a
that?
pachyderm? Maybe they're pachyderms.
I don't know. Well, he'll tell us. He's the kind of guy he is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Toxic man flu. Wow. A D-. The blob-like creatures remind me of my ex-wife, and the Godzilla-like creature, my ex-mother-in-law. I feel like I should pay this episode $2,000 a month and to get it out of my life. Nice. Oh my goodness.
Oh God.
Love it. I love
Vicious.
Toxic Man Flu.
Just vicious and hysterical.
Well done, Toxic Man Flu. Always a pleasure. I'm gonna call him Scuba Pete says. Hey, the aliens reminded me of cuttlefish with their tentacles. Cuttles are super intelligent.
Oh, are they? Yeah. Well, yeah, they are, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Working at the aquarium, you could tell they knew that they were in the tank and you were outside it.
Are cuttlefish in the
buggers.
same family as octopuses?
I don't know.
I don't know, but they're extremely extremely intelligent. The cuttlefish is that I don't know. Is that in the I don't know what family of fishy fish that's in.
I don't know either.
But anyway,
I do know
Scuba
that
Pete knows.
I do know that Claw in Age of Ultron, Avengers Age of Ultron, gave a speech about them, though. I remember that clearly. D-Bud Martin. A-. My first thought was Twilight Zone meets Trek.
Yeah.
Nice to see the crew trying to deal with being the lesser beings.
Yeah.
Yes, very Trek. That's very
What a great
Trek.
comment. Great comment, D. Bud Martin.
Let's see here. Ratings. Here we go. Dead Man Walking, 55. A-. Not perfect, but very deep considering the limited time available to fit everything in.
Yeah.
The young alien taking the Enterprise for a joyride was interesting. Was an interesting bit of
It
humor
was.
thrown in. And it would have gone if that had been a longer episode. They would have probably had explored it a little more. But still,
like the toddler driving the car.
That was
got a little bit of Herbie the Love Bug to it.
Right.
It goes all wonky. Anyway, yeah, Dad Man Walking, pretty funny.
I love Herbert the Love Bug. Fun fact: when I played Little League football, I had his number on my jersey, 53. There we go. Let's see here. Eric K. B-. Land dwelling squid meets Star Trek. Just shows to go. It does not have to be some sort of big brain humanoid. Does not have to be the most evolved of all alien species. Yes.
I love that comment, Eric, and I'll tell you what. Gene Roddenberry would have loved that comment. If he were here with us right now, he would absolutely love that you said that. Oh, and Eric K says, yes, they're cephalopods, just like
cephalopods.
Squid.
Okay.
So pass me some lemon.
There you go.
Chris will agree, I believe. Chris,
you can have mine. Some of these rocks fat. B- too, as I'm not a fan of the squid. I'm a squid. The squid for me is a must, at least when you're talking about Watchmen. But Schneider didn't think so. That jackass. I'm sorry. Reference to the Watchmen film by that idiot Snyder. Sorry.
Ew.
J.T. Kirk. B. A pretty decent episode. It was good to illustrate how aliens won't look like us. Lower Drex should be taking notes from this episode, but then again, it's Klutzman. It's Kurtzman. Should be Klutzman Drek.
Yep.
Yes. It's
Love
filth,
you,
but that's the filth, buddy. You're right.
Yep.
B+ for Doug 35. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug.
Mark
Steve Mitchum's leaving.
He says,
Oh,
I'm sorry, but I
okay.
can't keep my eyes open any longer. Maddie has me on early to bed, early to rise schedule. Have a good night, y'all. Steve, we love you so much. Please give Maddie a kiss for me and go and get some sleep. You're a dad with a very little girl, and I'm sure she's got you running 24 hours a day. Go and catch some Z's while you still can, and we'll see you next Saturday. And don't worry about us. It's okay that you're leaving early. You're going to be missed, but we don't mind at all because Maddie is more important. We love you. Good night.
Plus, you're old, dude, so you need your sleep. I'm sorry, I had to. He's picking on me all the time. So it's only fair. And I'm glad somebody around here is older than me. He knows I love you, brother. Good to see you, man.
Good night, honey.
Mark D with a C, A-. Another great sci-fi story that is very Trek. Now we know how the Horde felt. Creatures look like they are from Dr. Seuss, and yet they are presented to kids as incredibly advanced.
Yes.
Humans are like an ant colony to them. Great Spock and McCoy dialogue. We are considered simplistic, but in the process of evolving into a higher order, McCoy, even Vulcans, even Vulcans. That was a fun exchange, and I did like that. How the younger, there was only like 6 years old. Scanned all the ship records and all that kind of stuff, and saw that these beings are evolving, and realized that they were once like that, and that there was potential for the Federation, all those races in the Federation. I like that. I thought that was really nice. And again, pure Trek.
I also love our community because everyone's comments are so revealing insofar as when I talk about the fact that up to this point, we're mostly thinking these Area 51 aliens. And the fact that resonates when I say that to our community, it resonates with them because they also see this idea that Jean had. Look at all these comments that keep talking about how wonderful it is to have something beyond that Area 51 thing to think about when we think about what we're reaching out to and what reaches back. I absolutely love that so many people in our community, like Mark and Eric, and just a bevy of people in our community totally get where Jean was coming from in getting away from giant eyes and little bodies and getting into something that could be more realistic and therefore even more terrifying because we shouldn't have expectations. And I love Mark D's comment. I love Eric's comment. I love all of the comments that resonate on this point that was very important to Jean. It's also very important to me and to those who are commenting on it. It's a very cerebral comment, and I appreciate it very much.
Indeed, sir. Michael Beacom. I hope I'm saying that right, Michael. C+, hurt by budget limitations and time constraints, but definitely the flavor of real Trek. I absolutely.
I love your avatar, Michael.
Oh, yeah.
Bacon or Beacom, however you want to say it. I love that you have number 6 on there. Love it, love it.
The president rules. Love it.
It does.
Let's see here.
Oh,
I think. Whoa.
D-Bud Martin's got to leave. D-Bud.
Hey, D-Bud. Thank you, brother, for being here, man.
Bye.
Appreciate you, buddy.
Have a good weekend. See you next week.
You take care, sir. Always a pleasure. Looks like your Muslim uncle's running too. Hey, your Muslim uncle?
No.
Hey, man, we appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you for stopping by. Hope to see you next Saturday. Have a good weekend, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you. Or at least that's what he said. Yeah. I see you Monday there, bud. Appreciate it.
Unless he's bidding a good night to Steve and D-Bud. Maybe. I don't know. If we got that wrong, so. Your Muslim uncle, sorry.
Yeah. I think he said goodbye everyone, so that's what I took from that. But I appreciate him. Take it easy, man. I do believe we're now at the end of our ratings for that one, and we've got one more episode, folks. Are you ready to move on to our next one, number 1?
Yeah, and that will be the end of season 1, folks. This is it. The Jihad, season 1, episode 6. Air date January 12th, 1974. We're on page 114.
Yes, indeed. Go for it.
Pull those beautiful images up. Welcome to the team. Kirk and Spock beam down to the asteroid and meet their 4 new best friends, a female hunter named Lara, who begins flirting with Kirk. Naturally, a flying bird man named Char, a self-described coward named M3 Green, and Sword, a reptilian. The group is called upon to retrieve a religious artifact called the Soul of Alar, a task at which 3 previous expeditions have failed. But wait, there's more. If they fail to recover it, the score will wage a holy war, or jihad, across the galaxy, so no pressure. Before the motley band departs, Spock discovers the Vedala have left weapons among their supplies, even though the group comprises the only life on the asteroid. The team quickly learns that the mad planet has the perfect name as they experience a lovely environment of wind, rain, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, and more. In case that was not enough, Spock notes that it is a statistical probability the group will all perish on the mission. The team is tested immediately as the lava flow from a nearby volcanic eruption threatens to engulf them. Kirk and Spock show why they are the Super Starfleet duo by devising a plan to save them, which the first officer nearly derails when he is thrown off the vehicle. Of course, Kirk stops to save him, jeopardizing the lives of the entire squad. Spock was chosen for his analytical mind, and right now he is wondering if the team is truly the only life left on the planet. Scouting ahead, Laura continues to flirt with Kirk, who uncharacteristically rejects her advances. Finally, they arrive at their destination. Before they can enter the temple, which houses the soul of Alar, mechanized winged creatures attack the recovery team and abduct Char. The doors close immediately after the team enters the structure, trapping them. Kirk notes they are prisoners, which does not surprise him, as one of their number is not who they say they are. One of their number is not who they say they are? Wow. You need to attend my grammar class. Good. They say they are. Good call on the weapons. Char returns, reveals himself as a betrayer, and admits to stealing the artifact, wanting to force his people back to their warrior ways. He turns off the gravity in the structure and offers the group a glorious death. Lucky for all involved, the Super Starfleet duo practiced null gravity combat exercises just last week, enabling them to swiftly capture Char. The Vedala promised to heal the renegade score of his violent tendencies and offers its thanks to the group, but no one else can ever know what transpired. Kirk and Spock return to the Enterprise, where only 2 minutes have passed since they beamed down. Kirk explains their quick return was because the danger had passed. And despite a few grammar errors, what'd you think of that coverage?
Well, I got to tell you, I think we're back in a bit in the Saturday morning territory on this one, folks. We seem to toggle with these episodes between Star Trek or Trekish or Saturday morningish. I'm not that I hate this one episode. This episode is cute and mildly entertaining, but it's kind of goofy with not much of a Trek story. If you can, if you see where I'm coming from.
Wait until you hear what I wrote in my notes when I was watching this afternoon. It is hysterical to me how alike we are, how like-minded you and I are.
The Kirk getting flirted with stuff is, well, it's kind of funny. It's like he's probably going, well, look, if this were prime time, we'd be all over it, babe. But this is a Saturday morning. What are you doing? That was kind of weird in a sense. Rod Thunderheart, they're still there. They're good to see you, man. That's right.
Love you, Rod.
It was kind of strange, especially for a Saturday morning cartoon. I mean, if you think about that never happened on. The closest thing I've ever seen in a Filmation cartoon about any man or woman being attracted to anyone was on the New Adventures of Batman in the late 70s, where because every episode Batmite was in love with Batgirl. Okay. Mm-hmm. Aside from that, relationship stuff of any type, even like in any kind of flirting, never happens.
Can I read you my favorite quote from my notes?
In fact, you go with your notes. Please just go with your notes. I'm fine.
I still have to do the fascinating and the whoops.
Oh,
but
okay.
Just before you go any
ahead.
further, because it's just hysterical because we think so much alike. So I have in my notes, Laura, I find you an attractive man. If we were together, the trip would be easier. And if anything would happen, why, we'd have some green memories.
Yeah,
Kirk.
green memories. Holy shit.
I already have a lot of green memories. Maybe some other time, Laura.
Was he talking about Orion slave girls or what?
Yeah, of course. Anyways, please continue.
Well, remember in the time trap when the Orion asked him something about, have you seen an Orion slave girl? A girl named many times. Hey, many times I've been to Riza. Are you kidding me? And all those other players. So yeah, that was Trek, So I mean, so yes, weird. It was that, and she's of course, what is she's like a redneck? It's kind of weird.
No, she has a Brooklyn accent. It's so funny. You're everything that you're bringing up is everything that's in my notes. I love it. Why the heck does she have a Brooklyn accent? She's not from Earth.
She seemed like she talked like a hick to me, but maybe if you thought, like, I don't know,
It's a
maybe
Brooklyn accent. I like
really?
that Raymond Feliciano just put in the chat.
Burpees.
Slurpees.
There you go. It was kind of strange. All that was awkward. Let's face it. The idea, I guess, of them setting up, bringing in people from all the doing a little Dirty Dozen type thing or something like that was cute enough, but the execution's kind of strange. The sad, weird little alien boy, little alien chicken. Almost reminds me of Villa from Blake 7 for those who've seen that, but that was later. But yeah, it's kind of.
I seldom hear you do that.
Yeah, it's kind of. By the way, look at the name on the writer again. Have we not seen another episode that was a bit on the goofy side by this point?
Almost like, could we just yell Stephen Candell or Candell, however you want to say it?
Was that
Strikes again.
Wasn't that Mud's Passion?
Let me check. I think it was.
I think it was. That was the worst episode of it. But this is nowhere near as bad as that. At least this one's fun.
Yes, it is.
Mr. Mud's. Well, this one's more fun at least because that episode makes you want to beat things and makes you want to beat them up. This one just makes you want to go, dude, really? Again, this was probably at the same time when when everyone was out. And it's not. I'm not saying this is as bad as that one. I'm just saying, wow.
Yeah.
Candell again. Ironcaster. What's up, dude?
Ironcaster. Yeah, exactly. Candell.
Good to see you, Ironcaster. Oh, shit.
Hopefully it's not Candle. If his name is Candle, I don't know, but I will tell you this. There are over 7,000 languages in our world today, and English is a universal language. So it's anglicized. I don't know. It could be Candle. It could be Candle. I'm not sure, but sorry if we're butchering your name, but you butchered Star Trek, Steven. Shame on you.
Yeah, dude. Dude, I mean, at least it wasn't as bad as Mud's Passion, but okay. So anyway, notes? Or whatever you got next.
Oh, yes. Okay, so please turn to page 116. And we have the fascinating, and we have the whoops. So let's do the fascinating first.
I'm expecting these whoops because I saw some even.
TAS's use of previous designs resumed as the 4 starships in orbit at the Vidala asteroid were drawings from the Time Trap.
Yep. Oh my God.
And under the whoops, it says, inside the temple, which contained the soul of Alar, Kirk walks across the floor and at one point is wearing his life support belt, which he never had up until then, before it disappears again. Yes. The life support belt. It appears, disappears, and reappears over and over again. And for my personal notes, I have a lot of what Clobby said, plus there's a mistake in this book. It says season 1, episode 6. It should say 16. But there are hundreds. Like at this point, literally not hundreds, but at least a good 50 or 60 mistakes in this book, and the grammar is terrible. Anyway, I have sexually assertive Laura, or Lara, has a Brooklyn accent. Lots of great and memorable quotes, great banter, and then of course I that one about the green memories. And then I have, this is very Scooby-Doo. This doesn't feel like Star Trek. This feels like a cartoon from this era. And that's all I wrote.
Yeah. See, I guess we just heard it different. To me, I always thought she sounded like kind of a hick, but it doesn't matter. I mean, I just, again, that was Mark Poe. We don't do it often, but we got to do this one. Mark put on there.
What?
My world, there's a lot of females, not so many men. Come, because what she's trying to do, like she said it. Come, we find a man attractive, say so. I'm saying so. How do you find me? Whoa, what really? Well, he's probably like, you're a scary. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but he does have Spurpees. Like, how many people has Kirk given Spurpees to? It's the disappearing and reappearing coal sore. Oh, William Shatner, I feel bad for you, dude.
Well, look, I guess, he's saying that this wasn't Saturday morning, we'd be having it on right now, but, we got, but no, to be fair, Kirk never put any of that kind of crap in front of his duty or everything, but if he had the time, it's on.
Yeah.
You can't blame him. So, yeah.
Phoenix Argus, Sexy Space, Brooklyn Sheila. And if you don't know this, I just know this because I'm Canadian and we consider Australia our brothers and sisters. They're like our brother and sister country. Sheila means girl. That 70s rock fan says, I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for those pesky Romulans.
Exactly. Yeah, this one's another Saturday morninger, folks.
Yeah.
And it's cute and all that stuff. So, yeah, but it's kind of very Saturday morning-ish. So, number one, I guess what I will do, as always, I will ask for your rating on the Jihad, and then I will give mine, and then I'll ask our illustrious chat for their rating on our final episode of the evening. So what is your rating, number one, of the Jihad?
I don't know. Let's say 5 hot and heavy Laras out of 10. No, it's C minus. C minus. This is not Star Trek. It's also not good. No, it's just not good.
Not good.
And it's also not Star Trek.
Well, we have the same exact rating this time. I gave it a C minus also, and I get it. That's only because I didn't want. Only reason I'm not giving it a meaner one is because, it's not as terrible as it could have been. It's just not really compelling Star Trek. There's no real.
No.
Yeah, it's pretty goofy.
Yeah, Mark D with a C. Maybe Candle or Candel, however you want to say his name. I don't know his nationality, so I can't say how to say it correctly. But maybe he just read Dune. It is an odd thing to choose, right? A holy war. But yeah, it's a odd diction. The diction choice. But it's who knows. Well, chat. Can we say that Candel can't hold a candle to real Star Trek writers? Can I say that?
You just did.
Is anyone going to kick me for that? I know that's really bad.
Who wants me? All right, everyone. This is me. I'm smacking myself. Raquel upside the head. Listen. Oh, damn, got her. I missed.
Ow!
You just saved that one. We got I believe we have our first ratings. Oh my, here we go. C minus for Dark Shadow Logan. Aliens band together to find a theological icon to stop a possible galactic war. Through loyalty and sacrifice, they win the day while appreciating their individual skills. Campy, funny, poor title.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that works. That works, sir.
Oh, Janet from another planet is going to bed. Good night, beautiful lady. Have
Janet.
A wonderful weekend. I will see you next Saturday. We will see you next Saturday on behalf of everyone in the chat. And Clobby, let's see you next Saturday. Have a wonderful weekend and a good week.
Good night, Janet. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate you. Badass, my buddy, he gives it an A++.
What?
It's the greatest episode ever. The odds sound awesome. Well, they do sound awesome. Who doesn't want to do the odds? I thought they were scary, but no. They're like Ocean's 11. Add my name to the list of the next heist. I want to be part of Kirk's 12.
Yeah, when they meet around the rock or the holy formation, when they meet around it is kind of like Ocean's 11. Pat, get out of my head.
What's wrong with you, boy? What's wrong with you, boy? By the way, Aaron Caster, if you mean any of the Trek episodes, including the original series, the lowest rating, I've given an F-, I believe.
But Steve is right. I think I've only given a D. I don't think I've ever given a fail. But I will tell you this: the alternative factor is the closest to fail that I've ever come.
I think I gave the Wade Eden and a couple of and the Children Shall Lead and Mark of Gideon. A few of them got F-, if I remember right, and a Bud's Passion last week got an F something like that if I remember right.
We roasted it.
I should actually write these down, shouldn't I? What our ratings were. I do, but I forget. I lose them. Sandra Feliciano, C, just not Trek. Just not a good story. Reject the Spurbies-filled tripe.
Hi, Sandra.
Well done, Sandra.
Yeah, Canadian Spider-Man. Yeah, a D is my lowest, but F is Clobby's.
I don't know if I thought I was rating it. Yeah, no. I'll go way down into the sewer. They deserve it sometimes.
Yeah.
You're the one of two. C-. This episode relies too much on recycling animation from earlier episodes. Lara wants some of those Kirks and talks like a Elodian gangster.
No, Ioshan.
I was it an I? I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Damn me. Really, I always thought, I don't know why she sounded more like a redneck to me, but that's cool. But a longer episode might have managed a few red herrings to make the reveal of Char. Char less obvious. Yeah, well, Sword was sort of like Ben Grimm, though, in a sense. I kind of like Sword. I don't know why, because it was goofy.
Yeah.
Here we go.
She had a heater for Kirk. She had a heater.
Heater, the boss. I love that. C+. I prefer the episodes that don't feel like Scooby-Doo. This was just not Trek and not really well written, in my opinion. I'm totally with you there, my friend. Dad Man Walking. B+. I really like this episode also maybe because it's not really Trek. Loved the espionage aspect from Char, who I thought wanted either eat or yell at everyone the entire show. Pluck the eyebrows.
He's talking about Lara or Lara, however you want to say it.
Yes.
So funny. I know. Those eyebrows go on forever. Like, I think that they were actually supposed to be like, I know she's human, but they were very evocative of like feathers, Dad Man Walking. Didn't you see that?
Yes. They were weird. They're weird.
Just weird eyebrows.
Weird, wild stuff. Mark, give it a C. C. 2 out of 5 green memories. What in the hell are green memories? Do I want to know?
Well, that's from him sleeping with Orion slave girls.
I guess, but what does she know about that? But anyway, she's the one that mentioned it.
I know.
Not sure, but you're right, though. Not sure how some of the flirting lines made it into Saturday morning TV, but they definitely flew over my head as a kid. Other than having to save Landrew. Not a very Trek episode. Yep. Would have been better as an A-Team episode. It pretty much was an A-Team episode. They have to drug Spock to get him to go anywhere, or like drug McCoy to get him to go somewhere like BA.
Yeah.
I guess we did we get all of our reviews, everyone? Let me know.
I think that's it.
Are those all of our reviews for the Yahad?
Yeah. I think that's it.
Oh, that's 70s fan. The Finn Rocks fan. I'll give it a score of 1 Burnham, the lowest possible score. Ugh. Hey, you ain't supposed to be cussing around here, man.
We don't appreciate your cussing.
There ain't no cussing around here. That Burnham's a cuss word, my friend. Anyway, C for they call them school Pete a hearty char with Laura trying to do Seuss Kirk. Seduce Kirk. Kirk, the lava isn't the only thing hot on this planet. Kirk all like, if we weren't saving the galaxy, I'd tap that ass. Yeah, well, who can blame them? Toxic Mansley. Steve, put him in Lazarus to save this episode. We'll put him in the Lazarus pit. I forgot you are in. Oh, Raymond, did I?
So funny.
I'm backtracking now, buddy. It's not that I forget. It's not forgetting. It's missing. I may have missed you, but I don't forget you.
It's so funny.
Oh, there it is. It wasn't a miss, buddy. It was forgot. Sorry. Here we go. But I'm glad I found you. Raymond Feliciano, C, small C at that. Typical leave your brain behind Saturday AM cartoon. Off subject 1. Why did they use the same title card over and over?
Oh.
Yeah. And did Acme make the Enterprise systems? By the way, there were a couple when they went, commercial cuts when they came back and they showed the Enterprise for some reason. Like, why are they showing that? I guess because it was stock. But I mean, it had nothing to do with the story. They weren't even ever going back to when you do that traditionally. You go to the you go back to the Enterprise to show them on board doing something. So it's kind of weird. Oh, the Michael Beacom. Okay, I don't know how I missed these. C+, not well executed, but we have anti-grav fighting, religious concepts, jihad, numerous aliens. It was trying for more, fell short. Show me another show on primetime, even that went there in 73.
True, Michael.
Very
True.
good points,
We do love it too. We like to we like to needle it when it's not so good, but we do it lovingly. We just want to stay honest.
This thing jumped on me, everyone, because there's Eric K's. I'm so sorry, everyone. D+ from Eric K. Wow, I'm the lowest rating yet so far. That lady just could not take no for an answer. She may have always known the way, but she could not read the room. Let's have some nookie while we are waiting for the lava to kill us. Now I got to go back and make sure I didn't miss anybody else.
Yeah, you missed Chris Persia.
I did?
37 minutes past the hour, Chris Persia.
I'm not there yet.
Oh, okay. Well, no, it's just because
Right,
Raymond
okay.
Feliciano is underneath that. So that's why I thought you missed Chris. Sorry, sweetie.
Oh, I'm sorry. No. I'm looking now. I don't know how. I think the thing just kind of jumped on me.
It does jump around, and it looks so weird on this side, everyone at home, just so you know. I like that Snortapoopa says it takes a real woman to scare Kirk into celibacy. And that 70s rock fan says, kissing cousins. And the Canadian Spider-Man says, do not bring that name to this sacred place. Phoenix Argus says, Laura, go to a beautician and get those eyebrows plucked, in Kirk voice.
I see Chris Persia say goodnight to Janet, but I don't see a rating. Is there a rating from Chris Persia? Did you give me one, Chris?
At 37 minutes past the hour.
Okay. I'll get there.
Yep.
I'll get there. Not yet. JT Kirk, another one I missed. It's way back, so I'll get there, folks. Because I'd love to get them all. Believe me, I never like to miss anybody, and I'm always sorry when it happens, my friends. A+. Hey, Laura, raise me up on Subspace. Oh, man.
Bravo.
A+, huh? Wow, dude.
Love you. I love you.
He really
so
likes
much,
Laura.
JT, so funny.
Let's see here.
I'm gonna clap for some of these reviews. They're just so good.
Star Trek. Let's see here. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Almost there, bud.
Hey, Matt Ludi just walked in the door.
Matt,
I hope I
Matt.
said your last name correctly, Matt.
Welcome, Matt. Let's see here. Let me oh, there we go. I got Chris now.
There's my Chris.
There we go. Just not Trek. Yeah. C minus, by the way, for Chris. Just not Trek. Although it would fit in well as an episode of Futurama. Laura just doesn't understand that SNU snoo. Sorry, should be left for after a mission. A lot of people do this to me, and not during one. That's right, buddy.
I love it. I just absolutely love it. My stomach is hurting. This was like doing like 500 sit-ups. I love you guys so much.
Now, did we get everybody? Because I thought they were. I thought that thing must have jumped because it didn't seem as many as usual. Phantom Outsider. There you go.
There's Phantom Outsider.
See, just for the title, which they couldn't even use today. Well, that's a good point.
Oh yeah, definitely. That would be very, very controversial. Very controversial.
Who did you say came in? I don't see anybody. Did you say Matt?
Yeah, a guy by the name of Matt Ludi.
Oh, there you go, Matt Ludi. Hello.
Yeah.
So I like to find everybody because if I miss this chat's, I don't know. It's partly me, everyone, but it jumps on me sometimes, folks.
Scuba Pete just said, "Set my pants for stun." You make me do the ugly laugh on air, Scuba Pete. I can't help it.
Oh my goodness.
That's so funny.
Oh my goodness. I love it. I love when they're having fun in there.
Oh, so I was right. Hey, thanks, sweetheart. Yeah, it's Ludi. Great. I'm glad I got it right.
I think we got all of our reviews now, all of our ratings.
Okay, boss. I have an idea. Can we give a season 1 overall rating?
Oh, that was the end of season 1. Yes, absolutely. That was season 1 then, right?
It was, boss.
Okay. All right. Sure. Absolutely. Let's do that.
I'm going to give the whole shebang because of last week. I'm going to give the whole shebang a solid B.
Same here. I will give season 1 a B. A lot of good stuff. A solid B is very fair for me, I think. So everyone, if you want to throw up your little review of season 1 of Star Trek the Animated Series, please feel free.
Yep.
We'll see what you have to say about that. I always forget about the season review thingy. Thoth would have given us some fun reviews today. I know that much.
Oh, Pat S gave a B+.
Pat S is a B+ on season 1.
Shebang is fitting for that last episode. Love you. Love you. Love you.
Michael Beacom is a B. He said that's inappropriate.
Yeah, it is, isn't it, Michael?
Indeed. We've got a B from Raymond. The season was presented by Acme. Some of it, that's for sure.
And hold up the Wile E. Coyote sign that says "Help me." No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Ray. Raymond, I mean. Raymond, yeah.
Oh, man, let's see. I got to stop the chat so I can get to that 70s fan. A B. Dark Shadow Logan, B+, better than stuff today by far.
True.
No question about it.
Michael Beacom would definitely agree with you there.
Solid B on with for the great Scuba Pete. Sandra Feliciano, a B. It was good. It was a good starting effort, as well as a big risk trying to bring a live action sci-fi show to a cartoon format for sure.
What a great comment, Sandra. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Season 1B for a drink of water for a thirsty bear who is missing his trek back in the day. That is so true, sir. Phantom Outsider, solid B. Just on the strength of yesteryear alone.
Oh yeah.
I Chaya rest in peace. Yep. Absolutely. Good point, my friend.
Yep.
Char gets a DD.
Yeah.
Char gets a DD. Let's see here. I would concur a solid B for Chris Persia.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Makes sense, hey?
JT
Kirk.
B- for JT Kirk. Some cool ideas that couldn't be done live action, but the lack of any budget is pretty obvious in so many places that really could have lifted the quality of the show if better funded. Yes, that's Filmation for you, though, man. That's Filmation for you. They had what they had. Rest of the test would watch all the episodes if you happen to put on TV like you would. Yeah, absolutely, Canadian Spider-Man. Yeah. Jihad, Michael Beacom says, after the crisis has passed, Spock, you head back to the Enterprise. I promise to show Laura some docking maneuvers.
Michael, no.
You didn't, did you?
Michael, you went there, even with the eyebrows.
Oh, my.
Those eyebrows would have tickled poor Kirk.
I don't think Kirk would have minded that much. Dad Man Walking 55, B overall. The episodes last week were not as good as this week's, in my opinion. So This grade is a
Yeah.
balance of them all. Yes.
Yeah.
Of all of them, excuse me. But the sophisticated writing for
Yeah.
Saturday AM show is refreshing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No
What a
question
great
about it.
comment, Dad Man.
Absolutely. The Great Monk D with a C. B, solid continuation. Even though it's on Saturday morning TV. Great sci-fi stories, not dumbed down for kids. Plus, we were smarter as kids in the 70s.
Yep.
We played with toys that could kill us.
It's true.
Yes, we did.
I had a wood burning kit. Just like to say that. I would also like to say that I had a microscope and I spent most days down at the slough taking water samples and logging Daphne. I actually did that. That was my childhood. I was a
When
weird little kid.
And we had lawn darts. Eric K. Give it a B. Some good, some bad. Some bad. No Lazarus. Orangutan privates. Beard, but not bad at all. And yes, I'm with you there, Rod Thunderheart. Make a TAS canon. Hashtag that is absolutely. Phoenix Argus. B plus. From what I saw, the series was still finding its sea legs, and it is still far better than what we're getting nowadays with animation. That's one of two. In this format, they were able to experiment much more than they could in live action. However,
Yeah.
limitation on time hampered them. Yes, it did, but still,
Yep.
what a worthy effort, though it is.
Yes.
Absolutely. Bop, 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 bop.
Oh, Snortapoopus, you had a chemistry set. Yeah.
We did too. Yeah.
I had a wonderful microscope, and I thoroughly enjoyed it for many years. It's just my microscope and my books. They were my life for several years. Dadman Walking says, "Damn it, Bones! There's a limit to what one man can do. I'm a captain, not a gigolo."
I love it. Oh my goodness! I tell you what. Well, we get those done. What do we have now? We have like 6 more to go, and that's it, right? Because the second season was only a few episodes.
Yeah, the second season is is it 5 or 6?
I would believe it is 5 more. I mean 6 more. I think 6 more actually. Yes.
The Pirates of Orion.
Yep.
Lots of really nice letters in this season coverage. Bem, of course, Bem.
Practical Joker.
The Practical Joker.
Clock Incident.
Albatross.
Yeah. Albatross. For the Monty Python fans.
Sharper
the Serpent's Tooth. Right. That's it. Yeah, I think
and
that's all.
the Counterclock Incident.
Yep. So that would be 6, right?
Yeah, 6.
Yeah. Then we'll. And that look, folks. Next week, 6. We will do. You want to do the 6, right? And then we'll in the next week, or we're gonna go for it with the movies.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the following week, we're going to do the movies. I don't know how we're going to handle that. We should talk about that off air and sort of negotiate how much coverage we're going to provide. But I want to remind everyone that I really, really would love to just raise the spirits of this community and just have that little community bonding moment of sending it's nothing expensive. It's just a wee little gift. But if you'd like to leave your name with Clobby, or if you're a private sort of person, or if you'd just like to leave a comment on this video, I will know to put your name in that draw, and I can send it to your local post office. I don't need to know your real address or anything like that. But I love you all, and I'd like to do a couple of draws as we move through this Star Trek content, and just send a little bit of love from me and Clobby also.
Absolutely. So you could just everyone who wants to be put into that drawing. All you really have to do is put a comment in the comments of this video. When it'll after we get done, if you don't do it before that, you can always go back. It'll takes a while for it to go into YouTube and whatnot, but you could just put that there, and your name. Just saying, I don't know. You could just put anything. Put your name, and you can put for the drawing or whatever you want to do, and we'll have it. So
okay, Sandra, I will. I'll put you both in.
Yeah, but just if you want to do that, makes it easier. So you can just do that whenever you can. Anyway, so yes, next week, folks, we will end our Star Trek the Animated Series reviews with the last 6, and then we will start We will start with the original crew films. There's 6 films. And after that, for those who are not familiar with what we're doing, we're reviewing all of Real Trek, which means 66 through 05 only, the real deal stuff. All 6 series. Some people like to say 5. We say 6, meaning because we include the animated series, obviously. So once we get done with the animated series, we will review the films of the original cast, and then we will move on to TNG, DS9, Voy, and Int. So I'm going to do all the real deal stuff.
Yeah.
And including, of course, the TNG movies as well. So but you obviously that goes without saying. So we're going to do that. And so we got a nice, wonderful long way to go. Talking Trek for a long time here on Saturday nights, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you're just joining us and finding that out, so it's going to be a fun run. It already has been just fantastic.
And we had some requests for information because a lot of folks know that we work pretty hard to get you vetted information here. It's not just, fan lore here, and it's factoids. And there's a lot of that on the internet because a lot of the stuff on Star Trek is user-generated content. So we have received a request to cover some Phase 2. I want you to know that we will be plotting that course. We will have that discussion that's on the table. And remember, anything from 66, technically 64 to 2005 is fair game for Clubby and I to discuss. And we're going to take that journey together. So your questions will, by and large, be answered. We're going to do our best to get to everything and get all of your questions answered and your lore verified. So just know that will be squeezed in there as well, folks, by request. And it will be our pleasure to discuss that because it's something Clubby and I discuss in private, and we really love that topic.
Indeed. I mean, I just appreciate you all so much. So, I'll do a quick show note, and then we will say our goodbyes and get out of here. Again, Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk.
Yeah.
Any comics fans out there? I'm going to be talking about the history, in a sense, I guess, of comics journalism, meaning magazines about comics, because I love them. I still have a big collection of them. I loved it. When there actually was a thriving and healthy comic industry, one of the great things was buying the new mags about comics with interviews with your favorite creators and news about what was going on and all that kind of stuff. I just loved it. Look at those covers, and I'm going to be showing just covers and just basically talking about it because they were one of the most fun things about, collecting comics. If you were a comics fan, so that's Monday night. 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So, if you're a comics fan at all, you remember those days, then maybe it'll be fun for you. I hope you will show up and hang out with me. So, let's see here. By the way, before we say our goodbyes, please remember, everyone, the wonderful Raquel, Commander, there's the link again to her wonderful works and in her of science fiction. And by the way, there's also many links in my description below for a lot of the channels of a lot of great friends, and also a link to our buddy Raymond Feliciano's books, I should say,
yes,
as well.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. But Kalel, thank you for that, and everyone, all these nice things you're saying. Thank you so much. Look, we love you all. We love that you're hanging out with us. You make it so much fun. This is a great time for Raquel and myself every Saturday night. We look forward to it. And I hope you have half the fun we do. So Thank you so much for being here tonight. And I'll start saying our goodbyes now because I got you all. I always try to write down and try to get, whether you're still here or not, I want to get the shout out because you came here, you spent your time, however long it was, to hang out with us, and we could not be more happy about that. So, so we're gonna Phantom Outsider. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here.
Appreciate
Good to
you,
spend
buddy.
time with you.
Great friend of the show, the great Mark D with a C, brother.
Mark D with a C. You know I love you very much. Very good friend of mine.
As always,
very
man.
Smart, wonderful guy. Mark D with a C. Please follow him on YouTube.
Great friend of the show. Friend of the show. The great Eric K, man, brother. Always appreciate you, buddy.
Eric K, I love you. I read every single one of your comments tonight, and I just love you to pieces. I love you so much. You're so kind to me. You're such a great friend of this show, building community and helping us behind the scenes. I adore you. Thank you for wrenching for us, and thank you for just being an outstanding human being who helps to create such a wonderful sense of community in this space. I love you. Mwah.
Appreciate you, brother. You've been a great pal. You've been a great friend to us, Eric K, and so have you, great Chris Persia, buddy. Man, we appreciate you, man, as always. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here, buddy.
Mwah, mwah. Love you. Kalinikta. I will see you next Saturday.
Raymond and Sandra Feliciano, really appreciate you both for being here. Thank you so much.
Love you guys. Have a good week.
Great friends of the show. The great Snorta Poopas Cuber.
Snorta Poopas!
Love it.
Cuber.
Doug 35, thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate you. Dark Shadow Logan, I think he's still here. I'm not sure if he had to run or not, but no, he's still here. But Dark Shadow Logan, thank you, man. Appreciate you as always. Again, by the way, we see all your comments just because for time. I only get to look at them and see. But believe me, we appreciate everything you put in the comments and the chats.
Yep.
The chats the whole time. You're fantastic. We love you for that. Kal-El 48, thank you for being here tonight. Really appreciate you. I believe my buddy D. Bud Martin had the run. He gets a shout out anyway because he's a good friend of the show. D. Bud,
You betcha.
thank you. Elagabalus may have had the run, but shout out to Elagabalus.
Thank you for coming.
Indeed. The great Pat S., fantastic friend of the show. Buddy,
You were hysterical tonight, Pat.
always appreciate you. And the great Scuba Pete. He's the king of the Lumba Beat. Scuba Pete, buddy.
Scuba Pete!
Thank you.
I love you so much. Thank you for all your great comments tonight. You were hysterical.
Yeah, always, man. And the Catman Dee Dee Myers just popped in. Hey, Cat. Hey, Dee Dee.
I bet you were here all night, weren't you?
I don't know. What you think? Maybe.
I think he might have been here all night. I think he was podcasting instead of doing the live chat. So I appreciate you so much, Dee Dee Myers. Thank you for being here.
Dee Dee Myers, thank you for being here, buddy. Of course, the great Steve Mitchum was here. As always, but he had to run, but love you, brother, always. JT Kirk, appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for being here as always. It's a great pleasure. Septic Stream was here earlier. Thank you so much, SS. It's always good to see you. The great Phoenix Argus. We appreciate your participation, my friend. Thank you so much.
And thank you for discovering the animated series with us and talking about how you learned about it through gaming or how you understand it through gaming. I hope I'm articulating that in a way that is true to form for you. But I love that you're joining us here for this, even though you can't watch it where you're at. So I just love that you're here with us, Phoenix Argus. Mwah.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. The Nerdporio Life Forum. Appreciate you being here, my friend. Thank you so much. The great Rod Thunderheart, buddy.
Thunderheart. Yes, baby. Alberta, baby.
Good to see you, bud. Dadman Walking 55. Appreciate you. And shout out to the lovely Mrs. Dadman Walking. I hope she is doing well.
Yep. To the Dadmans, we love you guys.
Give our regards. Stephen Ernest, thank you for being here, my friend. Great to see you.
Yes, Stephen Ernest, thank you so much. And your comments are so wonderful. Thank you, Stephen.
Appreciate you so much. Our great buddy, the Canadian Spider-Man who does whatever the Canadian Spider can. Canadian Spidey.
Love you.
Great to see you, bro. Appreciate you. Apollonie's Minion was here. I know she's still here, and?
Popper.
Love you, Apollonie's, and he's so sweet. She said she's got something on the way for me. I'm just such a sweetheart. I love you. If you're still hearing this, Apollonie, love you. We thank you for popping in. You're such a sweet person.
Travel safely at work, please.
Indeed, indeed. Mike Beats was here earlier. Mike Beats, thank you for popping in. I think he had to leave, but my old bud Project Storytime popped in, and it's always great to have. I love even when someone stops in, and whether they can stay or not, it's very nice of them to pop in. So good to see you. Appreciate you there. Look who popped in at the last minute there. Look, Draco.
Yeah, nice
Draco
to see you.
Hey there. We're saying our goodbyes, but we can say hello and goodbye to you at the same time, buddy.
Yeah.
And we appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, we appreciate everyone. Whenever you show up, it's fine. Janet from Another Planet had to leave, but love you, Janet. Thank you so much.
Janet, we love you. Hope to see you next week.
The beautiful and magnificent and wonderful, dear, sweet Katie Carr was here tonight. We love you, Katie.
Katie, I'm so proud of you. I hope university is going well for you. I hope you are studying your little patootie off, and you're still on the dean's list. We are immensely proud of you, and hope to see you next week, and have a safe week, and study. Keep your nose down in those books.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. Captain Hipster Spock, my friend, that's always a pleasure. Thank you for stopping in, sir.
Thank you for supporting the channel.
Changed his name. Formerly, he had a different name, but I like that. Any name you use, though, Captain, works with us, buddy.
Yes.
Good to see you. Toxic Man Flu.
DMF!
You crazy man, you. We love you.
You were hysterical tonight. I missed your puns. You puntastic, punerific man.
Oh, yes, indeed, indeed, indeed. Let's see. Michael Beacom. Thank you so much for popping in, Michael Beacom. We really appreciate it. But it said, sorry, I couldn't be here. Not for the start was out, got home. Oh, well, look, hey, never worry about that. Look, when you pop in, and we love having you here.
Right.
That's all that matters, my friend. And so we appreciate you being here. That's all that matters,
That's
bud.
right, Michael.
So we thank you. That 70s rock fan.
Yeah.
Hey, always a great dude. I've been on some streams with him before. 70s, good to see you, buddy. Appreciate you being here. Cam, always a pleasure. Thank you for being here. We had a gentleman by the name of Chris Pratt. Bruce Pratt. See, I confused you with Star-Lord. Sorry. Bruce Pratt. Sorry about that, buddy.
Cool. Very cool. Very nice to see you. And I hope to get to know you better. We all do. So Absolutely. Good for you to join this community. We have a really close and fun and cool community here. So welcome, and thank you for stopping in.
Indeed. Disaster area, my friend. Thank you for stopping in, buddy. I love that name, man. Hot Black Shadow. Yeah. The great your Muslim uncle popped in earlier. I think he may have to run, but we always appreciate you, Muslim.
Yeah, thank you.
Brett Cohen popped in. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. My buddy Ironcaster. What's up, brother? We appreciate you stopping in, bud.
He's wonderful. So thank you so much for supporting the channel, Ironcaster.
Our new friend Matt Ludy. Thank you. We appreciate you being here. And welcome you, and we hope we see you again. We really appreciate it so much you stopping in there. Thank you. And I think we got everybody. We got Catman, we got Draco. I hope I did not miss anyone, everyone. That does happen sometimes. I don't mean for it to. I try to get everyone I can. It means a lot to me that you're here, and therefore it means a lot to me to be able to shout out at you and thank you. And say something to you, because I really appreciate that. Obviously, I'm going to do it on every stream, every show I'm doing, because it would take forever and stuff like that. But on this one, when there's the two of us here, we like to do it. We like, and so again, Monday night comics.
Did we get Matt Luty?
We did. I just
we did. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Well,
Yeah, it's fine. And we appreciate you, Matt. Thank you so much.
Mine like a colander. Sorry.
I thought that was me. It's me. So,
sorry, Globby.
No problem. Monday night, 8 p.m. Central, everyone. Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk. Mags about comics. Wednesday night, I had to move that show up a little bit for certain reasons. So it's 9 p.m. I'm doing that one at 9 p.m. now. That's just open geek talk where I hang out with you. Maybe I'll have someone with me. Maybe I I'll do a topic sometimes, but mostly it'll just me kind of just hanging out with you guys. You pop in, we just talk about, just geeking out, nothing serious, just a chance for me to bounce back and forth with my fantastic friends in that chat.
Yeah.
So that's great fun. And of course, 1 p.m. Central, Thursday afternoon, the Global Geek Gang gathers. In a couple of weeks, we're going to have a big Fantastic Four celebration because it's the 60th anniversary. So now, thank you so much. I'm going to play us out with this wonderful intro created by the greatest first officer in the fleet, my wonderful, fantastic, beautiful friend, Commander R.M. Briggs. And of course, and we had a little assist from the great Mark D with a C. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend. Love, 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 and live long and prosper.
Yeah.